and senior writer Corey Clark. Your weekly dose of all things FSU, pistols, and pies starts right now. Here's Jeff Cameron.
The Seminole Headlines, 93.3, Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV. Great to be with you as always. I'm Jeff. There's Ira, and there is Corey. What's up, gentlemen? How are you?
What up?
I like that you're wearing the Registers merch, buddy.
Yeah,
Good work.
Yeah, it matches the shirt well. I was walking out the door. I was like, come on, Registers cap. Let's go. It does look good. Comfortable hat.
It is. Great stuff over there, Registers. To go along with the delicious Register sausage.
I was going to say, yay, sausage.
And I feel like, the comment I made a few weeks ago when I mentioned a few people like cart gazing and kind of passing judgment on me if I didn't have registers at all times in my shopping cart. I didn't mean anything like that. I'm fine with you coming up to me and talking about what's going on in the world of sports or Florida State sports. I'm not,
just don't cart gaze.
Just don't look down.
Or if you just don't feed a register.
My eyes are up here.
Yeah. My eyes and my mouth are right here.
I have to say that a lot. Yeah. Honestly, I think the first time I realized my hair was thinning was a car of white, like staring at the top of my head a few times.
Oh yeah. He was 6'8".
When you talk to a tall person, they know before anybody else.
Yeah,
they do.
They see it.
And I think I brought it up on this show, and Eric Llewellyn texted me. He's like, "What are you talking about? Your hair is thick." I was like, "I don't know, man." I noticed Cara looking at my hair, so then I started looking.
Are starting to,
they were figuring it out.
You're still holding on, though, Ira.
Well,
a lot like Register Sausage is holding on to the panhandle and expanding.
Not just holding on, expanding its grip.
Yeah.
You can get Register Sausage really throughout the Southeast now. It's taken over down into South Florida, some places, Central Florida, Jacksonville. And if they don't have it at your grocery store, a lot of times we'll get people tweeting at us or
pummel them.
I mean, you don't start that way.
Pummel them.
You don't start that way.
Advocating violence opening segment.
No, we don't start that way. We start with a nice conversation.
Stern conversation.
Yeah, it's stern.
You make your point known that you'd like Register
There might
Sausage.
be a pummeling coming.
They'll figure that out. They'll read between the lines.
That's not stern. That's a threat.
But you just mentioned that you'd love to have some Register Sausage. They'll call Registers. Ben and his truck, they'll be there in no time. You'll have the registers in your store. If they don't, then pummeling's always an option. It's not the first option, but it's always an option. If you want registers and you're not in this part of the country, go to registermeats.com. You also can get the awesome merch, the hoodie that Corey likes to wear.
Yep. The hat
I'm wearing.
There's T-shirts, all kinds of stuff. So
I didn't think I'd have the ability in any way to pull off the rope cap that the kids wear these days.
You're doing it, though.
I think it's working right about now, but I didn't think I would be able to. I was a little nervous.
Makes you look 20 years younger.
What's funny is when we got those, Matt, the first thing I thought to myself was, I can never wear this.
Yeah.
But Matt was like, man, where can I get one of those ones with like that? Because he's a young guy.
Yeah.
And so he's got mine.
Glenn says have a closed practice with the meat manager.
That's right. A little physical. Yeah, a little more physical.
Well done. And Will Shep added, stop staring at my sausage for cart gauges.
Right. Yeah, exactly right.
Gauges.
Yeah.
Settle down. Settle down.
Staring at the cart. That's all we're saying. Hey, I don't want to start on a negative note, but we have to. And I just want to read a quote to you that occurred in the midst of last night's broadcast. And I thought it summarized my feelings about this godforsaken league. And
last night's broadcast of what?
The ass kicking that the women received by LSU.
It was only a second half ass kicking.
I mean, the first half was amazing.
It doesn't matter.
That third quarter was unbelievable.
Yeah. So here's the point. This was the quote, and this seems applicable.
Yeah.
The ACC, as good of a league as it is, just doesn't have the size nor the speed to compete at a high level. Now that's accurate, and I think it's accurate in almost every way, save for Florida State baseball. And it's so depressing, and I'm sitting here watching that game thinking it when the color commentator said it. Like, you can hang for a few minutes, you can hang for a quarter or two, and then it's over.
This guy doesn't watch lacrosse ever?
Yeah. Has he ever heard of women's soccer? They crunch them. They're really good at women's soccer and lacrosse.
They're coming for the rest of it.
Yeah,
they're coming for the rest of it, I promise you.
Yeah.
And so it's just, God, dog it. And he said it, and I thought it, and I think it's accurate, and it just depresses the hell out of me.
We'll see how Duke and Carolina are still alive. There might be another team out there in women's basketball. But yeah, that's always kind of been my concern with the revenue gap. I truly believe football will be behind other teams, but football will be talking
about financial investment.
Financial investment. Florida State football will still be, I think, able to compete with the SEC. These other sports, it's going to be, I mean, you see the SEC just had 14 teams in they have 7 in the Sweet 16.
Well, when you send 14, you accidentally
you're going to get 6 or 7. And then the baseball, like you look at the top 10, I mean, there's a few ACC teams, including Florida State, but there's a lot of SEC teams too. And women's basketball, it's South Carolina, it's LSU. It's just on and on and on with these other sports.
But think about this, though. Think about if the leadership of Florida State, give them some credit here, if they had not done what they've done over these last 2 years, right? Because if they just sat and wore it, because the perception, man, 2 years ago, the perception from everybody was it's ironclad. You're stuck till 2036.
Which is still funny. I'm going to wear that shirt. Ironclad. Ironclad.
Yeah. You're not going anywhere. There's no choice.
My first marriage
was
ironclad. Sorry, Shanna.
She finally broke free.
Yeah, she did. She's like, I don't think so.
She broke free.
I'm going to test the boundaries and see if I can get out of this.
She set the stage for Florida State.
Good job, Shanna.
But at the time, you're thinking, man, this is until 2034, 2030. When's the first time they may actually be able to get out of this thing? Well, now it looks like not only 2030 is probably the far end of it, and it might be sooner. We'll see how it all works out. But that the point is that they had to do all the things they did that took all the criticism for the lawsuit and everything else, and being bodacious and saying all these things that were not polite and collegial. That set the stage for them to be able to rectify this. So if they can do this, then Florida State can rectify this. Even in the short term, it's going to be a lot better than it would have been.
Yeah, I'm just really hopeful that it can. I know Gene posted on the boards the whispers that they want to get out of here sooner.
Gene and Tom did a big video about it.
Yeah, so it's posted on warchant.com, and you can check out the video. Warchant TV.
About getting out before 2030.
Yeah, so for the people that haven't seen it, it's to get out before 2030. How realistic do we think that is? Do we think, I mean, obviously, we all are hopeful that that is the case. I think there are a lot of very powerful people who want it to be the case. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be or not be. I just wonder how realistic it is. I just feel like that kind of a comment will be sort of ringing through our ears and our minds as every year goes past, that the gap still exists. Well, and that this will be the troubling reality, is that you're hoping to be competitive. That is not the same as hoping to be great or dominant or championship level. You're just hoping not to embarrass yourself, and that is a decidedly lower bar to try to achieve. It's not acceptable.
But I think to Corey's point, you see that playing out in a lot of different ways right now. Now, Florida State, in the sports that were already highly, highly successful, softball, soccer, when those jobs come open, they have gone out and got very, very impressive for those sports, very highly priced coaches to keep or promote from what,
Yeah, well, hell, they hired a guy from Tennessee.
And brought him in. And to keep Lonnie is all these SEC schools have come after her. Men's basketball, a lot of people wanted them to go after Will Wade, they weren't going to do that.
They couldn't.
And because they're making that decision because of, to Corey's point, man, it's got to go to football right now. Football has to be at a high level for them to make happen whatever is going to happen as quickly as possible. So from that perspective, man, that's, that football is not going to take a back seat in terms of financial investment. I think it's one of the, if you look at and the numbers are hard to judge sometimes, the financial numbers that the NCAA provides, where all the athletic budgets for all the schools across the country, because some of it includes facilities upgrades and things like that. But, Florida State continually has one of the top 10, 12 budgets for football, above a bunch of SEC and Big Ten schools. So they're going to keep pouring money into football.
Yeah, it's a bummer to think about, and I know the answer to this, but it's like, okay, what would it take? And I don't know the price range for great women's basketball players, but what would it take to keep Tanaya Latson here for her senior year versus you really are going to need a whole new offensive line next year? Like, what takes precedent? We all know what takes precedent, but it's a bummer. And I'm not saying Latson's not coming back or isn't. She already said she wants to come back or will come back. But it's like, if she's asking for a certain price tag, she's a great player. It's awesome that she's at Florida State. But it's like, at the same time, you can't have a great women's basketball player in this day and age, which is the sad part about where Florida State is, and where these other ACC teams is, at the expense of a good corner.
And I'm not
we know what means more, sadly.
And it's, listen, to some degree, it is a business. Whether it should be a business, college athletics should be or it shouldn't be, it is a business. And if you look at the P&L for women's basketball, they lose a hell of a lot of money every year.
Yes, of course they do.
So as you're deciding this, are you going to be like, oh, yeah, we definitely have to pay 6-7 figures, whatever it would be, to keep a women's basketball player for a sport that already is going to lose a ton of money?
The answer is no, you would not.
So but it sucks. I mean,
yeah, because you got an all-time great player, and then you can't even surround her with good players.
Well, that's
probably
the other problem, Corey, is that it'd be great to pay her because she's awesome. What did it get you? You got one win in 6 years in the NCAA tournament, and you got boat raced last night because they pay a bunch of different players.
First half was great. I didn't watch. See, I did do the smash with Tom. it's 7 o'clock,
because they scored 6 points in the third quarter.
I turned over the message board chat to Aslan and Matt, and I don't know what they did with it.
The beauty is I'm driving. Sometimes when I'm driving, I'll look at Twitter just to follow along with the score. I'm not listening to the game, but I'm driving back last night.
I'm mostly looking at the
road. I'm like, man, look, Latson's having a great game. It's close. What an exciting game. It's 50-49. And then the FSU Twitter feed went silent for 25 minutes.
So did the Warchant Twitter feed.
Yeah, and then it was like, oh my gosh! I looked at the score and they were down 91-56 or something.
Well, when you get outscored 30-something to 6.
31-6 in the quarter.
That'll hurt your feelings.
I almost want to go back and watch it just to see what happened.
Well, it hurt your feelings because I watched it. And it is it's tough to stomach, and it felt inevitable as the third quarter got going. You just realize they get worn down. They don't have enough. They
listen, man, LSU went and hired Kim Mulkey, and then they gave her a ton of money to buy players.
Yes, we know why. Yeah. My point is Florida State's operating from a compromised position, and soon this will happen to Florida State baseball, and this will happen when they lose a great coach like Lonnie in Florida State softball, and this will continue to happen. And
but you're acting like they didn't get this new deal where they are going to get like $18 to $20 million.
But also, it's all going to football.
I think baseball is a little different in the sense that if you believe in Link Jarrett, and Link Jarrett can turn you from a 13th round pick out of high school to a first or second round pick,
you might have a shot.
It's worth that money that you might not. LSU can give you money. But do you believe in that coaching staff? Women's basketball, the WNBA still doesn't pay great. This is their chance to cash in. And so I think that's a little different. Baseball, you get a chance to cash in.
There's no doubt. There's nuance. And you're right to point out those differences.
And that's definitely Luke Laux's approach. That's what he sold FSU on.
Yeah. This is an interesting conversation because FSU did save money with the Luke Laux hire. Doesn't mean it won't work. And I like Luke Laux a lot. And obviously I was a fan of the hire. That said, I don't know if it'll work. We'll see. He's going to be operating at a tremendous deficit compared to those he seeks to compete against in this league and others.
He's doing a good job of shrinking that, but it's still significant.
For now, right? Yeah. And then we'll see what happens once the rule changes, and we'll see how much it changes. There are different opinions about what's going to happen post-April the 7th. But, for now he can raise a lot of money, and he's doing a hell of a job to try to do so. And I like what he's doing with the staff. There's a ton of Florida connections, former head coaches, all these things.
I literally talked to somebody 20 minutes ago who's like, we're at a fundraising thing with Luke right now.
Oh yeah. It's I got a funny text within 2 days of him getting the job from somebody who's like, your boy ain't playing around. Right. And it's like, there's a lot of that, but he gets it and he knows he has to do it. And even then
that's just to be competitive.
That's just to be competitive. And I think I'm speaking from a place as a Noel, it just depresses me to see a program so compromised. So, up against it across the board because they have to pour all their money into football and because this league sucks and they can't get out soon enough. And it's just depressing because
sucks to high heavens.
Yes. And it's depressing because you watch something like that play out last night and you're like, well, yeah, of course that did. That's going to continue to happen.
I'm going to choose to celebrate the first half of that game.
And the first round win.
Right.
It was a big dub. George Mason's not a pushover, man. That was a tough team. Legit, they were 27-5. They took it to him. Hey, just sometimes you don't have a good half. Sometimes you don't have a good half.
6 points in a quarter and give up 30-something.
Dave says, I can't be the only one who thinks Luke Laux looks like Zelensky.
He's not the only one. A lot of people.
A lot of people do. That's right. Amar Aslan didn't put up side-by-side photo. Tell me I'm wrong.
We don't need a Dave.
The Ukrainian president.
Zelensky. Okay. Yeah.
Because he also goes with the turtleneck sometimes.
And he should wear that black sweater thing that he wears all the time with the elbow pads. Yeah.
I like it.
And you could ask him if he owns a suit.
We know he wore a suit. He wore it to the press conference.
And by the way, I do like that he's hit the ground running and is attacking and does care and does know that he's up against it and is doing you're right, his best. I do wonder, because you can look at this two ways, where what we're having with all the chalk, it's all chalk in the men's side and women's side. The women's been that way for a while.
Yes,
it's boring and it's ridiculous. And, it's across the board. And some people think this is the beginning of the end, that the golden age, the era of the NCAA tournament being what we remember it being with these crazy upsets and these Cinderellas dancing through the tournament is over. that it's done, that's the end of it. This is always going to be the way it was going to go once you started paying players and NIL became a thing. The big wigs from the power conferences would just take your best players. A good example is FAU makes a crazy run of the Final Four. If you look at where their players are now, they're dispersed amongst teams.
They're all in the Sweet 16. Yeah.
But the counter, and Tom and I talk about this a little bit in the third hour after this show ends, but I want to get your all's opinion on this. There is a counter to that. In the basketball-only leagues, the leagues that don't have football, the leagues that, like, there are a lot of teams like a St. Mary's, for example, that are really good in basketball every year. They don't play football. Are they just going to sink their $20.5 million if they opt in? Are they just going to sink in $18 million to basketball?
I don't think $18 million, but a lot.
Yeah, because what good would it do them to give it to softball or baseball in leagues where they don't make any money on that?
Well, how much is Gonzaga spending on football these days?
Probably not a lot. And I just saw it happen like 30 minutes ago. I don't know where St. Francis is. Maybe Pennsylvania.
There's two. There's New York and Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Well, one of them just went from Division I to Division III. They're going to Division III.
Be some of that.
And there's going to be a lot of that. And I'll be honest with you. Okay. Yeah. Like, you only went to Division I to chase money. Well, it's not meant for everyone. And I don't think I honestly don't think that's a horrible thing for some of these schools that have been chasing to go find their level again.
Well, I mean, shoot.
This has to happen.
10 years ago, I can't remember. It might have been 10, 15 years ago. I mean, FAMU was seriously looking to go to 1A.
Well, I remember it, like it was yesterday.
Which was like, man,
don't do it. You're just chasing a dragon, man, and you're not going to enjoy
so much money just to compete. But that goes to the point, you talk about how it's changed the sport, though. I think Jeff's right. I mean, the problem, those schools that had the Cinderella runs, it was because they did a good job evaluating, had a good system, got kids to become fourth and fifth year seniors, and then but now those kids are leaving. Like, you're not going to keep George Mason or whoever those schools are.
Well, the kid from Drake that averaged 20 a game just hit the portal. I bet he's going to get up. Right. And I'll be honest with you, if that kid, I don't know what that kid, he averaged 19.7 at Drake, point guard, shooting guard, whatever. I don't know what his NBA future is. I don't know if he's going to be a draft pick. It's cool that he can cash in. 20 years ago, a kid goes off for Drake, and then you never hear from him again. He never got to cash in on how good he was as a college basketball player. So I don't mind that.
Oh, nobody minds.
I think it's the portal being. I think it's not the NIL nearly as much as the portal
and the unlimited transfers.
Giving these kids an ability to transfer immediately has made it obviously this chaotic.
But when we are talking about the schools with more dollars,
today,
it goes hand in hand.
You do eliminate. A lot of the innocence and joy of that tournament is all centered around the fact that this was the one time a year where they had a chance to make a name for themselves.
Yeah, and we'll see. And like you said, we don't know if it's going to work with Luke. If it's going to work with Luke, his path is, and what he's described to us when we spoke to him last week, and when you've talked to him, and certainly what he sold FSU on, was he's going to build an organization, not just him, but he's going to have a couple guys from the NBA on his staff. He's going to have a strength coach that has a track record.
Is Steve Kerr one of them?
Maybe Steve will retire.
He's got to be tired of this. He's got to be tired of that.
I think it might be Kerr.
Okay, that'd be nice. That'd be a nice as just a quality control.
His pitch is going to be to players. So listen,
you'll make a lot more money on the next level.
On the next level, I'm gonna develop you and give you everything you need, so we not only make the NBA, but you can stick in the NBA, and we'll see. Kids may give him a discount because that's what's happening in football. Listen, man, Nick Saban did not pay top dollar for football players. Now, that's not to say Luke Laux needs to be in that conversation, but the same message is the same. Kirby Smart doesn't have to pay top dollar. The schools that have to pay top dollar are the ones that just won 2-10.
Well, Texas Tech. They get that roster because they pay top dollar because they don't have any history of sending a group of people to the NFL every year.
Yeah, certainly that's the case if you're going to build constantly through the portal. You're going to be paying top dollar.
Well, especially if you don't have a track record.
Yeah.
Also,
so it's a vicious cycle to some extent. Seminole Headlines 93.3 Real Talk Radio. Warchant TV continues in a moment.
There's fun to be had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas Wall, featuring 560 inches of flat screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Hey, everybody, it's Ed Dean along with Roger Henderson, also with FloridaDaily.com. Just want to remind you, daily 4 to 6 in the afternoons right here in Tallahassee on Real Talk 93.3 FM. Roger, it is literally the 2 fastest hours anywhere in afternoon talk radio.
And if you think the country's going crazy, we'll help you make sense of it all.
Oh, yeah, we'll try to make some sense of it. Again, Monday through Friday in the afternoons, Ed Dean, Roger Henderson on 93.3.
Looking for a new SUV? Kraft Nissan has 6 models of SUVs with prices starting at $21,900. Motor Trend noted that at $21,900, the redesigned Nissan Kicks punches up at other SUVs way above its price point. See it for yourself at Kraft Nissan in Tallahassee.
All right, about that time to upgrade my iPad and my Apple Gear. How much memory do I need? What upgrade should I get? What size screen? How many chargers do I need? USB-C, USB-D, mini USB, USB-B, ABC, 1, 2, 3?
If only there was a local business that can guide you and help you understand what you need and get you the best pricing possible. Oh, wait, that's what they do at Mac & More Systems. Get help buying the right gear for the right price and have it shipped directly to their store for pickup, all at no extra cost. That's the kind of service you won't get at any big box store. Shop local at Mac & More Systems. Find out more online at macandmoresystems.com.
T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark Construction.com. We conquer all peaks. We fix those darn leaks. Call 850-766-134. T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark. T-Spark Construction.com.
CCC 1331204.
Hoi!
Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
Oh, I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down.
Ace!
You're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at Metamucil.com.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
I'll ask the same question that I asked Tom yesterday after that Miami series for the baseball team. You feel better or worse?
Tonight
they play Florida.
It's hard to feel better.
Yeah, I don't know that watching what Arnold and Mendez did in that kind of environment threw me for a loop a little bit. Like, I'd like them to be the guys that, like Bellini. I know it sounds weird, but Bellini pitching on a Thursday night in Miami, it's not the same crowd as a Friday night in Miami or a Saturday night in Miami. And he was great.
Yep. But
it's also not the atmosphere and energy of a Friday night at that place or a Saturday night at that place. And I just didn't like the way those two guys responded. I mean, they're badasses here, and you hope you're pitching a super regional here, but that's not a guarantee you'll even get to a super regional. But there's some big games coming up down the stretch where I would have liked them to meet the moment more.
Yeah, I'm not. To me, the thing with Luke. Arnold, Jamie Arnold. Good grief.
Yeah, you're old, Ira.
I know it happens.
You're old. I mean,
guys, just hang with us.
Yeah,
hang with me. The thing with Jamie is, it was his birthday.
It was his birthday.
It was his birthday. I think they had a lot of family there for that.
He was keyed up and excited. He even said that.
Big stage, Miami, primetime. I think it wasn't a matter of not meeting the moment, because I think when you say not meeting the moment, perception is melted or didn't compete, and I don't think that was the case. I think it's now, maybe you could say he didn't compete as the game went on as well as you'd like, but I just think it was the emotions, and he didn't control the emotions. And I don't think that's been a problem with him in the past. So I'm not concerned about it. I think Jamie Arnold will probably go out this Friday or Saturday whenever he pitches and probably have 12 strikeouts. But I never felt like Mendez was unbelievable. I think he's a nice pitcher.
Yeah, I think he's a really good 3-starter, really good.
But I've never felt like, okay, I'm expecting him to go just mow down a bunch of.
I think that you get more than one bad start before we start picking on you. So that's fair. I expect that, look, most aces have a day where you're like, just doesn't have it. I did not like, and you touched on this, and I think that's the part that stuck out to me. The Arnold start I'll chalk up to a bad day at the office. I did not like the way he handled his emotions at all. That was weird and not a good look, and also not conducive to success.
Yeah.
He let things get to him. And that was kind of odd to see. First we've really seen of it. So I'm hoping obviously it serves as a lesson and something that he can draw from. And
well, when you're in the conversation to go 1-1,
right, that's what I mean.
You can't you've got to bring it better than that. Now look, they won the series.
It's not a disaster.
But they won the series. They're 5-1. They're top 5 in the country, depending on the 9 polls that you look at. Which one is your favorite? Yeah. But look, I
go
back.
Not even polls. They're just like one person's ranking.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. There's 7 of them, right? And
they've never
crazy.
mattered. You can go back 30 years, they've never mattered.
But yeah, you've got some big games to pitch where you're counting on him to be the best player on the field. And it just going back to the start against UConn in the Super Regional. Didn't think he was great there when they had a chance to go to Omaha. They did get to Omaha, but he gave up 6 runs. Also threw 123 pitches. You remember that game? That afternoon game?
Couldn't believe he went out.
Crazy. Then the Tennessee game wasn't great against a great lineup, but wasn't good in that game.
He also got his finger cut by the trophy.
And then his first really big moment of this season at Miami on a Friday night with a chance to clinch the series didn't look like the best pitcher even on the staff. That's why I just want to see him meet the bigger stages.
Right. The only thing I would say is,
but that's nitpicky.
Well, I was going to say,
awesome.
That's what I was going to say.
Awesome. I'm just nitpicky
because as we watch our major league teams. I mean, and again, Skeens is different. He's a different animal. I get it. But like,
glad you said that.
Florida, the Orioles, Grayson Rodriguez,
mortal humans. We're talking about mortal humans here.
Grayson Rodriguez to me he's got unbelievable talent. I think he'll be a great frontline pitcher, number 1 starter for the Orioles, hopefully for years to come. But he isn't the same as when we had Corbin Burns last year.
Right.
There's a different level you can get to where
being the guy.
You're impervious. Like it doesn't matter. You give up a home run on the second pitch of the game, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're good.
And you got to get to that place. And he'll get that, but we're asking it of a 21-year-old. That's the only reason I would caution people to chill out a little bit.
I want to make it abundantly
it was one
clear.
start. It was one bad start. It's the 2 strikeouts bothered me. It was concerning.
More than he struck out.
Yeah,
that's
very, very odd against a not great offense.
Yeah, and again, I think that he'll be fine, and we'll look at it and we'll watch from here and decide. But it's true to kind of go through this with a fine-tooth comb if you're going to be projected as the number 1 pick in the draft. And that's I've said before that I want to see that level of dominance. It's the hope anyhow. It's a bad start. That's all it is.
You know what I think, what concerns me, and it's just me being the cynic and half glass empty kind of guy that I am, is just this program for the last 15 years. Like Gil Martin is unbelievable as a freshman, then takes a huge step back the next year. Drew Parrish was essentially unhittable one year and then became like a 5 ERA guy the next year. Luke Weaver was unbelievable his sophomore year, was just pretty good his junior year. Pretty good. You know what I mean? Like I want to see a guy be dominant. This Jamie Arnold 2 years in a row, and I worry that if it's expectations
maybe
or
your
just a lot
expectations
of
are too high. Is that possible?
I do think. No, I will say this though. Yeah, in fairness, but I think Corey, it takes a special breed to be a guy who has those kinds of expectations heaped upon them based on a performance for a singular season when you're 18 or 19 years old.
Yeah.
And to be told the entire offseason, you might be the number 1 pick in the draft. You are the best pitcher in college baseball and show us.
Yeah.
And then like something goes south, you could see where your head would spin and you could have a real hard time with that because the guys that Ira's talking about, and I worry about this year even with Skeens.
Come on.
You don't worry about Skeens.
I don't worry much, but hey, listen, this is his first ever opening day start. He's not had to be the man. He became the man after they called him up in the middle of the year last year.
He's a machine.
There's also no pressure with the Pirates.
He's a freak. There's actually a lot more pressure with the Pirates because if you don't win, who the hell is going to? So the point would be, I do think those guys are 24, 25. They've gone through minor league baseball. They've done all where it becomes a profession. They learn how to get to that place. You're 19 in college. I always say it. You're subject to the whims of emotion. Who knows what's going on in your private life?
Yeah,
you got a girlfriend.
And you say that happens at Florida State. I think it probably happens at every.
I know it does. I'm singularly focused here. That's where that comes from. It's just those other really good pitchers that kind of had, sophomore slumps or junior slumps after great.
You're also the guy that said Jamie shouldn't pitch this entire season.
Well, right. So I feel like Friday night proved me right. So shut him down. Shut him down till middle of May. I didn't say all season, Ira. Shut him down till the middle of May. By the way, Peyton Prescott, unbelievable.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was great. That was a great performance.
That puts him in the category of dudes who've done it in those series, Miami or Florida.
That's big, man.
I mean, that was enormous.
12 outs of suck it, shut it down.
After your two best pitchers, perhaps, kind of got rattled and rocked the previous 12 innings for you to come in.
Not trying to fool anybody.
And just hammered the strike zone and gave up 2 hits and 4 innings, no runs.
Being able to miss bats, being able to throw a ball back by somebody in an obvious fastball count. That helps.
Yeah, it was fun to watch.
That helps.
I think the best case scenario, and I almost wonder if you can manage this way, and I don't know if they will. They probably won't. It's probably ludicrous, but in my mind, like you wonder if with a guy like Jamie Arnold and all the things you've talked about, do you want him to be peaking in March and April, or do you just kind of let this season play out and then really kind of get him to be an assassin or what does Sean call him? The death dealer?
Yeah, death dealer.
He wants him to be the death dealer.
Well, he was prior to the game the other night.
No, I know, but you have the competition.
Right.
But do you want to ramp up? And if you get him to be peak Jamie Arnold when it matters, that's way more important.
I've always wondered, how would you do that?
I do think you can just how much do you talk, like how much
what you say to him
during the week. Yeah. Like how intense you are about every game, every inning. I don't know. It wasn't a good sign as that game went on that he did not show a lot of competitive fight. It looked like he was frustrated and it affected him.
Yeah, composure. Well, I think he was frustrated because he couldn't locate his secondary pitches.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, now they can sit on one pitch, and I don't care who you are. They're going to hit that. That's right. You could be anybody. Skeens only throws a fastball. If that's the case, he's going to get hit. Got 4 other pitches, but I mean, you know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. You got to be able to throw
4 other pitches, all elite. That's why he's the modern day Sandy Koufax.
Which one are you worried about? Is it one of the 4 other pitches that worries you or has you concerned?
There's some talk
out
of camp getting under 100. 6 pitches.
Oh, of course. It's getting a little too many. Okay.
Too many.
All right, too many.
It's like Norvell and the running backs last year.
Right.
Too many to choose from, and he never got a handle on it.
That was the problem.
Yeah.
We should talk Florida State football.
Well,
spring practice is going on.
Well, in order to do that, we're going to need a beer from Tavello.
Oh, let's make it happen.
Because I don't know. I'm a cynical, jaded, don't even care right now about Florida State football. It's ridiculous. I won't care until they start playing games against Alabama.
Oh, well, this will be a fun 7 months for the listeners.
You two are going to have to carry the day.
Yeah, no lie.
I'll just start bringing in Tavello to drink before we start talking football, Ira.
It's only 5 months. It's only 5 months till the start of the season.
You love to push things back, act like the season's never going to be here.
I know.
Let me tell you about the latest brew up there today. We got a new one on the line.
More for me to try.
This will definitely be up your alley. We need to schedule a trip up there maybe this week.
Let's go.
It's the Tasmanian Trail Ride, and it's a 6.9%.
Okay.
So it's a hardy,
it's got a little something to it. You're driving.
So the Tasmanian trail part is the bike theme. Tavello's French for bike, the Velo part. Anyway, so it's a gold. I'm going to read a few real quick.
It's an ad.
It's a golden low bitterness, but it's golden with low bitterness, but a ton of hop flavor and aroma. The hops are Centennial, Citra, and Galaxy, which give a bunch of tropics.
Okay.
Peach, citrus. Anyway, give it a try. It's called the Tasmanian Trail Ride.
Give it a try. I would love a beer ad on TV to be like, anyway, give it a try. It tastes great, less filling. Give it a try.
Like hardcore
Listen, Maurice, start sending the text to Jeff if you want this read better. Anyway, it's there is an actual Tasmanian Trail Ride that's like an actual thing around Tasmania. So it'll make you feel like you're there, guys.
I don't know if it'll do that.
No, it won't at all.
Go to Thomasville.
Is it good or not?
It's good. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that's all you need to say.
Go to
it's
Thomasville.
Good beer.
If it's an IPA, but it doesn't have as much bitterness, I think is what he's trying to say, which means I can actually give it a try.
Yeah.
But go up to Thomasville. Just as you get into Thomasville on the right-hand side, Tavello Brewing. And they've got a great beer room, tap room, then they have the patio outside. Enjoy it. The weather's perfect. You need to get out there.
It is, man. It's been beautiful, hasn't it?
Yeah, I want to contemplate Florida State's place in the football world out on the deck at Tavello.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
With some Tasmanian pale ale.
Easier to contemplate that after you have another swallow of that Tasmanian pale ale.
This guy.
It'll be good.
TPA.
Yeah, there you go. Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio. Warchant TV continues in a moment.
Your local news now.
A man is dead and officers are investigating a shooting that occurred early Sunday morning. Officers responded to the Sunrise Place apartments on Texas Street shortly after midnight. That's where officers found a man with a gunshot wound. The investigation is still active. The police are asking anyone with information to call 850-891-4200 or to remain anonymous, call Crime Stoppers at 850-574-TIPS. A new bill going through the Florida Capitol would make cursive writing more of a priority in schools in the state. An analysis for the bill says Florida requires students in grades 3 to 5 to learn cursive writing, but students do not have to prove they can read or comprehend cursive. The bill would call for public school students in 2nd through 5th grades to learn cursive, and by the end of 5th grade, students would have to pass an evaluation on writing, reading, and applying cursive. This bill just passed a House committee unanimously. The Senate version is still in committees. This is Rachel Anay with Real Talk 93.3 Local News Update, brought to you by McLemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at McLemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Clear skies this afternoon with a high of 80. West winds around 5 miles per hour. Clear skies again tonight. Lows dip down to about 56. High of 84 tomorrow. Ample sunshine expected. Mainly sunny skies Thursday with a high of 82. 81 Friday. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Currently 71.
Did you know that the survivability of a metal roof far exceeds that of a traditional shingle roof? At Metal Roofing Sales of Tallahassee, we have new state-of-the-art roll formers that produce the highest quality Versa panel, PBR panel, and standing seam options. And we will guarantee to match or beat any local competitor's pricing. We're a family-owned business ready to offer you the best sales and installation service in the area. And don't forget about our veterans and first responders discounts. Call Metal Roofing Sales today, 850-536-9123, or visit us online at metalroofing.sales.net.
The best happy hour in the city is at Café de Martín and El Bar. All day, every day, you can find great deals at Café de Martín while enjoying the best outdoor seating Tallahassee has to offer. Sip away on 2-for-1 house wines, chilcanos, and margaritas all day long, Monday through Thursday. Plus 2-for-1 pisco sours and margaritas on Fridays and Saturdays, and 2-for-1 mimosas for Sunday brunch. Come join us at Café de Martín, where every hour is happy hour, in the Esposito Shopping Center on Capitol Circle Northeast.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
Rolling on, Big River. Here we go. Florida State football talk.
Let's do it.
Fire away, Ira.
Only took 2 segments.
It's all right. Well, we had to address things. We had things to address. Most of the questions will probably be about football next hour. So
that's fair. You know, there's not a lot we can talk about specifically in terms of things we've seen.
Because
I do think that, some of the things we've heard around them are encouraging. I mean, I think some of the players that, again, you go back to a year ago, they needed to hit on all those transfers, and they didn't hit on hardly any of them.
No.
This year, we'll see. It's still 8 months away, 5 months away. It's not
5 months. 5 months.
Can we stop with this
Corey makes me think it's 8 months away.
Yeah.
Next week we'll
It's 11
tell
months.
everybody it's 10 months away.
Yeah.
10 months from the football season, guys. It's going to sneak up
It was
on
8
them.
months away when they signed him.
Yeah.
It's still 5 months away. But, again, I'm encouraged by some of the things I'm hearing. Especially, man, I've had so many different people tell me that they like the way Tommy's throwing the football, which I'm starting to wonder if people are grading on a curve. Like maybe they thought he was going to come in and look like, I don't know what.
Last year's quarterback?
AJ Duffy.
Costantino. AJ Duffy.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that. There's a good chance AJ Duffy's not listening to this, right?
Probably not.
Oh, fair.
Well, bless his heart.
I hope you give me credit for what you're about to say.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
When
good.
when Norvell said that Kevin Sperry in his first 7-on-7 went 4 for 4, I thought to myself, right now Corey's thinking, did Duffy complete 4 passes in 7-on-7 during his time?
Yeah, he went 4. But also the way he
wouldn't throw the ball.
Yeah, he wouldn't throw the ball, and sometimes when he did, it would hit the back wall of the IPF. Just completely. I mean, he was throwing it away, but it's like, man, Throw the ball. Throw the ball. Throw the ball.
Yeah.
Try take it. It was not, and it seemed obvious and he didn't seem to have a lot of arm talent. And I don't know what the deal was there, why he showed up.
Poor recruiting.
But he was wanted by other people. I don't understand. I mean, he was playing at IMG.
Hasn't worked out at the.
If you can play at IMG, yeah, no, it's where is he now? You think?
This isn't like
I do remember that though. Yeah, I know.
I think he's an example, and I don't think it was just strictly about the talent. I think there was how focused you are.
Well, true. But I remember when Rodemaker in that Louisville game, when he came in and immediately threw that interception when Norvell called the 3rd and 18 pass for Rodemaker, and he threw it right to the linebacker. There were multiple people on Twitter saying, you got to play Duffy. You got to play Duffy. And I wanted to be like, you can't play Duffy. He will punt it to the other team. He will never throw the ball. You can't do it. And he was a freshman, so that wasn't that big a shot.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's what it is. People just kind of had low expectations. But I've had a bunch of different people tell me, that they like the way Tommy throws the football. That's encouraging. It's exciting.
It's an odd thing, right? Like he was efficient last year. He didn't turn the ball over. He had 2 interceptions against Missouri, but he almost won that game. And then after the Florida State and Missouri games, he got less and less like they didn't do anything with him really.
Never ran him,
but he didn't throw a ton. And when he did, they were kind of check downs. But it's like he now he has a year under his belt where he was efficient. Now he did get benched, but he was efficient. In the year before, he was 3rd in the league in rushing. He had more rushing yards than Trey Benson. And he was 3rd in the ACC in rushing yards at 1133, in touchdowns with 13. And then the next year he showed, at least himself, I guess, or maybe Norvell, which is more important, that he could be a guy that can stay in the pocket a little bit and doesn't just use his legs. So now it'd be nice to marry the two.
He's got experience.
And this is a scheme that should do that.
Yeah, let's hope.
Bill O'Brien was not going to do that.
No, he was not. He that was not a good marriage.
Even if you're not a fan of Tommy Castellanos, from what you've seen the last 2 years, nobody in this room, nobody watching this cannot believe the quarterback play will take a significant step up if he stays healthy, right?
The entire offense.
Yeah.
I mean, it has no, I don't know how it couldn't, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like that is.
But you're in a better place, not in a great place, but you're in a better place at that most important position on the field than you were this time last year.
So where's the angst coming from? Because I felt like even a month ago or 2 months ago, you were a little bit more enthusiastic.
I'm enthusiastic about the defense, and I don't think they're going to have elite players on that side of the ball, but I think the secondary can take a big step forward because I like the talent on the back end. I like the coach that they hired in Tony White. I was even more impressed after getting a chance to talk to him.
Not a lot of press man either from those corners, it sounds
so
like.
You got an opportunity to see
make
what
some
the quarterback's
plays,
doing, so you might make more plays. Listen, they only had a total of 6 turnovers last year. Sweet Jesus.
And 2 were against Charleston Southern, so they had 4 turnovers in 11 games.
Dumbass is going to have more than 6 turnovers for us. So, I think they're going to certainly, just by accident, have more.
And Corey just wrote a story about that. It's on warchant.com.
Yeah.
And I thought they created more turnovers the year before, but they didn't even with that team.
No, that team they created 17, which was they were
69th
in the country, or maybe they were 69th in the country in 2023 in turnovers created.
Like 2 third-year starters were NFL guys, including the rookie of the year, the third voting for rookie of the year.
And 2 of your 3 corners were Azaria Thomas and Renardo Green.
Because
Jarian Jones
Jones was in the mix,
because they couldn't really run much zone, so they never saw the quarterback. And just listen. This will be a better defense. I don't know if it'll be a great defense, but I like the decisions that they made there. I think that was a good hire. We'll see about the offense. I'm rooting for it.
Again, it'll be better.
It has to be. I will root for them to run Castellanos to death. Well, I think that's his strength. And obviously, I'm not rooting for actually,
you're not rooting for literal death.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
But I'm saying,
you have to be kind of judicious.
But you got to run him. I mean, you got to run him, which is probably why they're also talking up the backup, because they know they're going to maybe need him at some point, and that's fine. It's hard to get excited through a few practices that we can't see about, passes down the field about the back.
He just got here. Is he? When did
about the backup? Brock Glenn. He's not even.
Glenn, that's right.
He's like Urban Meyer wouldn't say Florida State. I guess Norvell doesn't do it either. He says that team.
Listen, I got nothing against Brock, but
he doesn't know his name.
We'll dismiss him.
It's just sweet Jesus.
Backup.
I mean, come on, man. It's just.
He hasn't shown you a lot to get too excited, but that's why he's the backup.
I hope he takes a huge step. I like the kid just fine. I thought he was in a terrible position last year.
Yeah.
He also stunk, but the line was awful. Everything about last year was an unmitigated disaster, so I don't put it all on him.
How good would Lagway have been in that offense?
I don't know.
I mean, not great.
Yeah,
not great. I mean, they might have averaged 4 extra points a game. They might have been 4 and 8.
It's hard to glean much right now, and I know that just because of how bad they were a year ago, that if you think we're cynical, can you imagine this fan base? They're like, come on.
I think. Well, they might take their cues from you, Captain.
No,
so help out a little bit.
No,
but also,
And you got the captain registers.
I don't think that. I don't think they're. I think there's some positivity about Castellanos because of the way he looked against Florida State the last 2 years. And not Florida State fans didn't watch Boston College play any other games except the last two.
Nobody
against
watched
Florida
them
State,
play.
right? And exactly that's why they're getting 15 mil less. But what he did against Florida State was very impressive. He was a good player. He was a good college quarterback. Get something like that and repeat it for 12 games next year. Well, your ceiling goes way up. Even though he's not a Heisman candidate, he's not going to be an All-American, he's not going to be an NFL draft pick. He can be a very, very effective quarterback in Gus Malzahn's system, potentially.
You know what's going to be complicated?
DJU is not here anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least this is a better marriage it's a better fit with quarterback and system.
DJ broke my heart the other day in the pro day interview when he said that the reason he didn't run very much last year, he said his knee was totally fine. And I'm like, come on.
Oh, he did. Oh, because he's saying it, but he doesn't want
for the NFL.
Yeah,
that's fine. At least lie to me, DJ. I'm trying to cling to that you were banged up.
He
was banged up. No, he was.
But don't tell me you weren't. Here's the other, but what's going to be complicated, and I think is going to be interesting to watch is, and we'll be in the middle of it, is how people process and evaluate what we see over the course of that season. Because, man, from 2-10, 8-4 would be fantastic. I'm thrilled with 8-4. But I don't know, as you watch it play out, are people going to be okay with that? If it is 7-5, it's going to be dicey, Mike. If it's better than 8-4, I think anything above 8-4, I think people are going to be very happy. But 8-4 is
below 8-4, they're not going to be.
It's 5-5.
Right.
Yeah,
that's how we keep talking about. That means you went 5-5 if you go 7-5.
So it's a weird year from the standpoint of you're going into it with lowered expectations, but then you have to remind yourself of those as maybe some of those losses happen. So it's going to be a tricky.
It's very hard. And I'm in the midst of doing this exercise that you're talking about with the fans. I'm the fan because I can in a vacuum, I can go season by season and excuse away any number of things and also highlight some of the successes and get very excited about the 19 straight wins and all these things. But in totality, when I go, we're in year 6, Mike, coming off a 2-10 season, and the expectation is that maybe you'll win 8 games. That ain't it.
Well, we'll see what it goes.
And so when you do it that way,
you are where you are. Once you kept him, that's you are where you are.
Correct.
Real quick, I did want to give a couple shout outs to a couple of messages in the chat. I can't find whose name it was, but when we said that that new brew by Tavello is 6.9%, somebody said, sounds like it'll be an excellent pregame beer.
Mm-hmm.
The fall, which I thought was pretty funny.
That's a go-to-bed beer.
Well, but if you're preparing to not be thrilled with what you're going to see.
Good point.
And
good point. Yeah.
I think that's what you're saying. And then Glenn C. said, seeing 84 at the podium for Pro Day was surreal. We love you, buddy.
Yeah, I'm looking. I think it was Lee that said that, and I think he was talking a lot about. I mean, you need a 6.9 before you go in.
Yeah.
Or you watch
few of those before you go in. Yeah. Ooh. That's there, right? Which one are you going to that one?
Maybe both of us, man. We usually
I'm not. I don't know. I'm not afraid of Clemson, man.
He's not
9-4. Give me a break. They barely beat Brock Glenn. There's no offense, Brock. I know your name, and you're my dog. You're my dog. I believe in you. You're going to lead this program somewhere someday.
Corey, don't do that. They didn't barely.
Come on.
Beat
It's still a game. Still a game.
Barely beat Brock.
I mean, the Notre Dame handled Florida State.
Yes,
Clemson did not handle Florida State.
So was Ira. Yeah, we were there.
That was the Black Saturday. That's when the coaches got fired the next day. I guess it was Black Sunday is when they got fired.
I was calling for it in the stands, second quarter.
No, you weren't alone. All of them.
Fire them.
That was embarrassing. That was a whole game that played out like the women's basketball game did for the second half last night.
It really was.
You know what sucked about it too is that the Notre Dame fans were not great and just chided us, those of us in the stands. It was a freezing night. It got colder as the night went on. You're sitting up there on high. It's like, this is ridiculous.
You know what was sad?
It was nice in the press box.
What was a sad moment last year? I wasn't there for it. I was at Duke. I was in the press box though, but Stephanie was in the stands, and after Brock Glenn had his third straight turnover on third straight plays,
that's amazing that accomplishment.
A Duke fan turned up to them and said, "I'm so sorry, y'all don't deserve this."
Yeah.
It's like when Duke football fans are feeling sorry for Florida State football fans, that is about as low as you can get. Not quite as low as Jacksonville State, but it is very, very low.
It is a far cry from when my dad and I went to Pittsburgh for Jameis's first ever game, and about 14 throws in, I hear this guy and his father, who the F is this guy?
Yeah.
And I turn around and I go, oh, buddy, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
You're in trouble. And he's just like, well, I didn't know you had an NFL quarterback starting. Like,
Where's Coker? We were playing for Coker all game. Or Trickett.
Clint.
Trickett. We saw him.
And Ira kept telling me about Clint all spring.
Man, it was hilarious because the guy, I mean, he truly was completely bereft of hope in the moment. He's like, what is going on? Isn't this a freshman? And they're just watching dart after dart after dart. I'm like, oh, this could get ugly. And he's like, I know. Well, look at what is this? This is ridiculous. It's almost like he thought the first 5 throws were kind of fluky. And then he was like, oh, this dude's not going to miss. Apparently, he's just going to throw a dime on every single throw, and we're going to get our doors blown off. And then the father turned to him and goes, hey, look at it this way. At least we'll say we were here.
Yeah, you saw
there you go. And so all those fans of the Duke-Florida State game last year got to see 3 straight turnovers on 3 straight plays.
They'll never see it again, Corey.
Duke will never force turnovers on 3 straight plays in the rest of its football existence against an ACC team. Almost impossible.
I will forever feel bad about the one where he gets clobbered trying to make a play. Because I'm like, bless your heart. You're trying to make a play.
Yeah. And then you could catch the ball in the back of the end zone. I know that was Kromenhoek that threw that, but maybe that.
Oh, you mean the perfect pass?
I feel like that flips the whole season. If he catches that ball, you're looking at a 7-5 season. You go to.
I will say this.
Okay. Is Kromenhoek still here if he catches that pass?
I don't know, but the one thing I would say is this:
it was a dime.
What's interesting about that? So in that game, they really, from a coaching staff perspective, and the people around the program that really wanted them to try to turn around the season, they thought
they were going to win that game
was going to be huge for them.
Yes.
Because it was a win that would just get them back over the hump.
Team with the winning record.
It's a good team. Get kids believing again, and that would carry them into the second half of the season. It would really be a big moment. So when you lose that game, that was it. It was over. But on the flip side of that is if that happens, maybe you don't fire everybody you fire. So
if you win the
blessing. Good work, Brock.
So you're saying Brock Glenn was working for the
happen.
program. He did it's like Jalen Ramsey missing that tackle against Trey Mason.
Well,
it ended up being whatever. He missed a tackle.
He got
he missed a tackle.
He kind of was off balance.
Yeah.
I've always given him a little.
I celebrate the trucking.
Yeah.
Because it led to the national championship victory.
There's silver lining in everything. That's what this show's about. We find
people can tell.
It was a great moment. You got Gus here. You got Tony White. You got them all here, man.
0 silver linings in 2 and 10. And the reason for the cynicism you hear from me now is just mired. I'm just steeped in it, especially early in spring. Hey, what scrimmage do you think we're going to get to see? We got to go to break in 30 seconds.
We haven't heard anything about the next one, or the first one, so my guess it would be the second one. I think
he's the last one. Is that like this last Saturday of the whole, like April 20th or something?
No, I think it'll be the second one.
Okay.
I think it'll be the second one.
Oh, we're coming. We're coming.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Yeah.
It's the only thing you're going to get to see.
Yep.
Let's
got
lock
my
it
binoculars.
In. Lock it in. Let's talk out of school afterwards, too. Just say whatever we want. What the hell? Are we going to be excluded?
from the next ones?
Well, what the hell do we care? Hour number 2, Seminole Headlines. Headliner questions coming your way. Hang in.
Like most of us, your home is your greatest investment. I mean, think about it. The financial benefits, the newfound freedoms of purchasing a home can contribute to your family's health and wealth and happiness. Well, with real estate trends pointing to a favorable market for buyers, this is the time to be sure of what you're buying or selling. And that is exactly why Joel Hagen's built ACL Home Inspections, providing you thorough, precise, and efficient service with same-day, easy-to-read digital reports. They'll even go with you on a walkthrough inspection of the home you want to buy. Now, if you're planning to list your house before putting it up for sale, ACL will provide you a pre-listing inspection. Call today, 850-312-8919, 312-8919. Remember, before you buy or sell, call ACL.
When I get home from work, I'm ready to relax. So I call Swain Pools and Spas to put my pool in the back. I call Swain Pools and Spas. Now I'm soaking up some fun when I want to.
Truckloads of new and used Caldera and Hot Spring Spas are available now at Swain Pools and Spas. Don't wait. Get to Swain Pools and browse the best inventory to find the spa of your dreams. These won't last long, so come see us today. Just look for the huge sign on Tharp Street or call 386-7113 for Swain Pools and Spas.
I know what you're thinking right now. Now, where can I find a place to get my car fixed and also check out some awesome new hot tubs and spas while I wait? Well, you're in luck. Because when you bring your car or truck in to get serviced at Tallahassee Car Care, it's under the same roof as Swain Pools and Spas for tires, brakes, batteries, tune-ups, oil changes, and all the service you need to get back on the road. Choose the certified technicians at Tallahassee Car Care. Drop by our shop on Tharp Street or visit online at TallahasseeCarCare.com.
Gather around Tallahassee. It's time to fire up the grill and make some unforgettable family memories, courtesy of Hearth and Patio. Whether it's juicy steaks, succulent burgers, or those special family recipe ribs, they've got the grills that will make your backyard the hottest spot in town. From gas to charcoal, they have the perfect grill for every meat lover's dream. Call Hearth and Patio today, where the quality of your cookout is their passion. Give them a call today, 850-727-4282. That's 850-727-4282, or online at hearthpatiotallahassee.com.
Many orthodontists in Tallahassee can straighten a smile, but at Birch Orthodontics, they're dedicated to providing the finest care possible. The experienced and friendly staff is trained in all of the latest techniques. So whether you need standard treatment like braces or Invisalign, or you have a more complicated case requiring extra attention, Birch Orthodontics is here for you. Set up your free consultation today by visiting birchorthodontics.com, BURCH orthodontics.com, or call 850-877-1692. At Birch Orthodontics, they create beautiful smiles that last a lifetime.
WVFT, Gresham, Tallahassee. This is Real Talk 93.3. You're listening to Seminole Headlines with Ira, Corey, and Jeff. Stay tuned for more headlines coming up next. Your sports action update on Real Talk 93.3 with all the latest odds from Vegas.
Florida Gators have been bet up to a 6.5-point favorite over the Maryland Terrapins of the Sweet 16 of the NCAA tournament on Thursday at the Chase Center in San Francisco. The total 155.5. The winner will get either Texas Tech or Arkansas in the Elite Eight. Red Raiders a 5.5-point favorite over the Razorbacks. The Atlanta Braves open up the baseball season Thursday. $1.20 favorite at San Diego plus 100. Chris Sale gets the ball for the Braves on opening day. Tampa Bay Lightning a $2.58 home favorite against the Pittsburgh Penguins today plus 210. The total is 6.5 shaded to the under at Amalie Arena. $250 bonus and you open up a GBank Visa signature card. Visa.com/GBank. Mike Sennett, Real Talk 93.3.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out?
It's Spruce, the new hardworking, worry-free weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people and pets. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Weeds die by the next day. Find Spruce wherever weed killers are sold.
Something amazing is happening in workplaces everywhere. Devices are learning how people work and adapting to help them get more done. That's because CDW is modernizing experiences with Dell's intelligent portfolio of devices. Thanks to built-in security and AI capabilities, your teams can work smarter wherever they may be. Dell and CDW. Make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/Dell Client.
Hey, Greg, did you know that some cars are more prone to auto glass damage than others?
I did not know that.
Yeah, a Jeep windshield is flat, making it very prone to damage. Nissan Rogues are popular. Toyotas, Subarus are always in my shop because they get damaged frequently and they require recalibration.
So you guys see a lot of SUVs.
Yeah, I guess the angle of the glass has a lot to do with it.
But it's not like you can avoid a rock no matter what you're driving.
Exactly. So just go to SeminoleAutoglass.com and let us take care of everything for you.
So how often do you see a DeLorean?
From time to time. Better call Seminole.
No matter how busy life gets, your home is the place where your family and friends show you they care and celebrate with you. That's why the professionals at Barano Heating and Air Conditioning always make sure your home is comfortable. Just like those who matter to you most, Barano will always be there for you.
This is Tyler from Barano Heating and Air. Now you can schedule an appointment, purchase or renew your service agreement, or pay your bill from your mobile device. Any day, anytime, anywhere. When you turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air, online at baranoac.com.
Florida license number CAC 1816186.
There's no
From the championship stage to coaching change and everything in between, Warchant.com remains your home for the best FSU football coverage in the business. Brutally honest columns and features, market-leading multimedia presence across video and podcast, the largest FSU fan community with a staff that combines for over 100 years of experience covering the Noles. When change comes, Warchant.com is your home for analysis from every angle. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source. Sign up today.
It's time for Seminole Headlines, featuring Warchant.com's Jeff Cameron, managing editor Ira Schofel, and senior writer Corey Clark. Your weekly dose of all things FSU, pistols and pies starts right now. Here's Jeff Cameron.
Hour number 2, Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV. Good to be with you as always. Our thanks as we start the hour to our friends at Birch Orthodontics. Dr. Birch and her crew, the best in the business. It's not close. We strongly suggest for all your orthodontic needs that you go see Dr. Birch. Of course, Ira, you agree?
If you want a visual of what Dr. Birch versus all the other orthodontists out there,
it's the second half of the LSU.
Yeah,
that's smart.
She's the one scoring 30-something.
Yeah.
And they're all trying to get to 6.
Yep.
That's Dr. Birch. They do an awesome job. BirchOrthodontics.com is the website. If you've got kids or anybody of any age, there's people, we've got coworkers who've talked about getting orthodontic work in your 30s or 40s,
60s.
Listen, you never know. You can never look too good, Corey. That's what we say about you.
Right. Yeah.
We're trying to figure out how you're going to start looking better, but it
can't be the orthodontic work because they're all fake. But I got a big.
Well, I'm on to Ira. He's just trying to be polite. It's Lacer.
It is.
Yeah. Those teeth are a mess. Get it together, Lacer.
Yeah, right.
Good God, young man.
The real quick though, I want to give one other promotion we've got going on, and this was during the break. I was staring at it during the whole break because Corey wouldn't talk to me.
Yeah.
The ad for the maybe Ben or Tom can bring it back up. The ad for the special at Warchant.com right now, which is
it's a good one.
You get the full year for over half off. It's basically $1 a week. $52 gets you a year subscription to Warchant.com. You also get a $20 gift code to Garnet and Gold while that supplies last, which is awesome.
Yes.
But the thing we never really talked about.
So then it's really $32 for 12
basically,
months. Basically, $20 you're getting
we're letting the people do their own math.
Right.
But yeah. And then I did the bonus welcome gift. What do we get? What's the bonus welcome gift?
It's a picture of me.
Oh, well,
it's a picture of me and you.
We signed it.
We signed it. Yeah.
We didn't bring it up.
Well, because we're shirtless.
What do you want to do? What do you want to do? This Gene brought it to our attention. We said we'd do anything for the company.
I'm really conflicted because I am hurt. I am hurt that I'm not in it, but I really would like one. So
Corey and you've got them in the back of your car.
Yeah, I got some in the trunk.
Usually, yeah. You never know.
With my mixtapes, I got a few mixtapes too. Yeah. Actually, that's the bonus gift. I dropped a mixtape.
You and MC Hammer. Yeah. Just out the back of your car in Oakland. Yeah, doing it up. Yeah.
Sales are going to be going through the roof now, Gene.
There you go, buddy. There we go. First question of the day. We get right to it. By the way, again, thank you, Dr. Birch. Noel Tiggity. Good day, gents. I saw Ira's update on the new video panels. That sounds great. Do we have any clarity about if they are uploading the Wi-Fi or updating the Wi-Fi in the stadium?
I thought he's going to say, are they going to have punting stats bigger and brighter? Somebody joked with me like that about that yesterday.
Noel Tickety's concerns are the concerns of everybody.
Yeah, I do believe.
Has
Listen,
to.
There. All right. So there are some challenges with Wi-Fi in general. I'm just saying. There are inherent challenges with Wi-Fi.
Talking points.
Arthur Blank gets it right. Arthur Blank gets it right. Mercedes-Benz.
I know it was a big priority. I can't speep to it because they've told us before. Man, we've gotten press releases in the past. We put $5 million in the Wi-Fi or whatever, and you can't get anything to work. So I'm not. It's a little believe it when I see it. They're supposed to be enhanced Wi-Fi. I cannot tell you for a fact that it's happening.
I don't know how you could spend $5 million on Wi-Fi improvements and not see one shred of evidence.
A couple expensive routers. I don't know.
What do we? I mean, like, look over there in the corner. What's that? New router? Huh?
How about this? Would you rather spend $5 million on Wi-Fi or get you a couple good defensive linemen?
Right.
These are the questions we got to ask ourselves, guys.
Yeah.
The $25 million for a video board. Can the city commission approve like $30 million for a starting lineup for Luke?
Was what we have to do in the poor ass ACC. Hey guys, I know you all want Wi-Fi. You want a backup left guard? Is that what you want? That's what we're doing around here, guys. With the departure of our special teams.
By the way, real quick to interrupt, is it a video board? Is it a whole new video board?
Well, they call it a score. On the thing, it says Jumbotron.
Right.
But so it's the whole.
So they're bringing in a new one.
What are the panels? Explain the panels that Tiggety's talking about.
Well, so they've been doing some work there on the panel. Like, if you watch the Zoom or whatever they call it, the Earth Cam from Doak Campbell Stadium, you can see work being done on the scoreboards on the panels because some of the panels were messed up.
You might not remember that. I know you didn't look at the scoreboard a lot last year. There was no reason, but some of the panels were messed up.
I don't know. I found myself looking at the scoreboard quite frequently. Like, what is happening?
Or in a replay, like, did that really happen?
But
forewarned gazes at the panel.
So it looks like they're doing repairs on it. But then on a agenda item this week for the Florida Board of Governors, Florida State's asking for approval to spend $25 million on a new Jumbotron.
Oh, here we go.
So I don't have details, but that was.
Yep. You got to be excited about that. I imagine that if you get a new Jumbotron, it will be modernized with the stuff that it has.
Yeah.
I said last week that I don't know why.
It'll have scores from relevant games that are happening then, not just games that play at 10 p.m.
Specifically, I get angry about the fact that every year for the last 20 years, when I look up, they'll have the first quarter of the Duke game in which it'll say 0-0, 14 minutes to play in the first quarter. I'm like, the game ended 4 hours ago. They lost 38-3.
My bigger complaint is they show show scores of games that haven't started yet and aren't starting for hours. Like they'll show the Pacific games and be like, Oregon plays USC 10 p.m.
17-0.
Don't need it. Don't need that right now. Just show me what's happening in the NC State North Carolina game. That's what we care about. We're ACC.
The ones that are being played.
Yeah, that's what you want to see.
And give us a real score, not something that happened 6 hours ago. I want the final. If it's over, it's over. It's not in the middle of the second quarter.
Let's do a bottom line scroll like ESPN. Give us some stats with each game. Especially if the Wi-Fi is not going to work.
I think you could do all those things without the $25 million investment.
Well, that's true. It'd probably be $500,000.
I don't agree. I don't know. We need the $25 million new scoreboard. Let's go. Garrett writes, with the departure of our special team studs at kicker and punter, will we see even more aggressive approach on fourth downs? You guys looked into the fourth down aggression stats of one Gus Malzahn, who's in total charge of the offense?
That part's going to be interesting.
I haven't. I assume he's pretty aggressive. I don't know, though.
But I'm curious to know whether he's got.
But also
power on that.
Norvell's going to decide whether they go for it or not. I 100% he better.
I'm not sure.
That would be crazy. No, Mike, we're going for it. Timeout. No, we're not, Gus. You know what I mean? Like, I'm in charge. I get paid more than you.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know. It sounds like he gave over the entirety of the offense.
Well, that's decision making. Then he's going to decide when to go for two and when to who kicks off. Like he's not giving all of that over to Gus.
He can very easily say every single decision he made last year was disastrous. Gus, you do.
My instinct is wrong.
Yeah.
It's like my gambling. Whatever I pick, choose the opposite. You're going to win a lot of money.
So we don't know. We don't know the approach, but Garrett, you're gonna make me look this up.
You never saw that in tag team wrestling back in the day. Like they would always like the guys getting beat up, and they reach out and gets a tag. What if the other guy's like, I don't want to go in there?
Yeah,
they did that sometimes.
Huge.
The guy would back off like that's a good joke.
Show cowardice. Yeah.
Usually the bad guys.
You'd purposely come in and beg, his hand all the way out.
Come in and beg. No,
I can't get to you.
Yeah, right. But I do think
I'd love to go in there and get beat up by Hulk Hogan, but.
To that real question, though, if you don't have an All-American kicker and it's 4th and 3 from the 34-yard line.
They're 34, you're going for it every time.
Yeah, that's what I would think, right?
We've seen some history
or
of that.
even like 4th and 6. Like, I feel like if you can't trust he did it 2 years ago.
3 years ago.
3 years ago with Fitzgerald. So I do think that they'll be if who's our guy? Who's the kicker?
Weinberg.
Yeah, if he doesn't prove to be automatic, then I think that would and if the new punter can't pin him inside that's 7 all the time,
I think
it would give you more reason to go.
Things are happening for this new punter. I like him. I think Florida State's going to be succession. Yeah, the succession's going to be good.
Yeah, he's got a huge leg. Huge leg. It's a little wild,
but he'll get it worked out.
A little spray gunny, but when he gets a hold of it, holy cow!
Yeah, he's got a cannon. Dan writes, it's baseball season. What's the most amount of hot dogs you think you could eat in one day? Not a competition style or anything like that, just eating hot dogs throughout the day. Now, I'm embarrassed to answer the question the way that I'm going to have to answer it.
Because you know your answer?
I don't, but for some reason, there are some foods that I can just keep eating. Shrimp, for example. I can have 100 shrimp. I can have 100 shrimp easily. You could put a tray of shrimp out. I can eat 100 of them. Just keep eating. I don't know where it would stop.
Eggs.
But I can eat
50 eggs.
If you put 7 eggs in a bowl,
I get a little over eggs after a few
but if
days.
you put 7 eggs in a bowl, I'll easily eat 7 eggs. I mean, it's not hard. But anyhow,
what do you mean, like a Rocky style?
No.
What do you mean in a bowl?
No, I'm talking about if you put scrambled eggs or even over medium, you put them in a bowl and then I get to cut them up so
like
the
a
yolk comes
scrambler.
out just right. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you put them in a bowl and then put them in a pan and fry them.
No, but I sometimes do sunny side up or over medium. I put them in a bowl on top of each other, cut them, and then dip in like the bacon and stuff to get the yolk and all that. Yeah.
I used to do over easy forever. So one time I danced with Sally.
Seminole a little bit. Got to do over medium. Over
medium
medium is the way to go now.
Gross white. You don't want the white too liquidy. It's pretty gross.
Yeah, that's where you're at. Anyhow, hot dogs.
Man.
They're one of the foods
I would say
I can eat a gazillion of. I love hot dogs.
A grilled one. If they're grilled,
boiled, I like to.
Yeah, but grilled is my go-to. Grilled and kind of small, like the normal size hot dogs.
How would the day play out? So
you
you're
start
starting
eating at noon.
A late breakfast.
You start eating at
hot
noon.
dogs.
It's a noon game.
3.
Somebody's on the grill. You probably eat 3 then, 2 or 3.
Easily 2 to start. Easily
3.
I'm with you on that. I can eat 3.
Set a base.
Yeah. But then what? So it's a baseball game. We get about
halftime.
5th inning.
Baseball.
Yeah, 4th or 5th inning. I'm ready for a hot dog.
Maybe 2.
But now he says it's throughout the day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're going to midnight. You're going to midnight.
So in one baseball game, 3-hour game, I
can knock out 6. 6 is a solid number.
6 hot dogs.
Man, that 6th one is. I don't think it's going down as easily as y'all think it's going down.
So now it's 4:00.
You've had 6 hot dogs.
You watch the game. The Pirates skis.
You get a meat sweat nap.
Get a little nap.
Ooh, the next game is starting.
Right. So I'll
have one. That'll be 7. We get about the 5th inning. That'll be another one.
You're not going to knock down a couple more.
When you get to 8, when you get to number 8, you're like, well, how far can this go? And then it becomes a rate. It becomes a competition to see how high you can get.
What time are we going to bed?
11 is the most.
Well, you go to bed at 9.
Well, I go to bed at
10. I think at 11 you're probably in trouble. I
can eat 11 hot dogs. You can too.
I think 11.
There's no way I could eat 11. I think I could get to 7 or 8.
I think you could eat 11 the whole day. You got the whole day.
Yeah, man. I don't.
Maybe you start a little early.
Well,
maybe an hour before the game.
Maybe the 10th one is the one I'm dipping in water.
No.
I'm dipping that in water and just sucking it down like chestnut.
No.
And then the 11th one, I don't even have the bun.
If it was a competition, I could see you doing that.
Yes.
Like if we're trying to beat us.
We're just trying to enjoy it.
So Kayvon says
7 or 8.
Kayvon says he has us pegged as chicken, pork, and turkey hot dogs. Could this be true? Kayvon, no. Now there was a time when I was broke in college where I bought some cheap ass hot dogs.
Oh,
they might have been a chicken.
Those
pork
pink
and turkey
ones. You remember those pink ones and how disgusting those are? Yeah.
Those could have been pigeons.
There were a couple.
Yeah.
I'm not real proud. Not real proud of
meat.
Not real proud of some of the hot dogs I've eaten. But since I got a job and full time employment, I don't think I've had anything other than beef hot dogs.
So we think double digits. We could get to double digits, but not 20.
Easily double digits.
Probably not 20. I will tell you, my favorite hot dogs in all the world are the hot dogs you get at Fenway Park.
Here he goes.
It's unbelievable.
He's even a hot dog snob.
No. Most parks have good hot dogs.
Yeah.
Most do.
But Fenway is the creme de la creme.
I told Tom of this. He went last year, 2 years ago, and he agreed with me. I'm telling you, you got to do it.
All right. Okay.
It's really good. And I've had hot dogs at like.
You've had hot dogs all over this world.
All over the great world here. I've had hot dogs to beat the band, guys. I've had hot dogs. All right, here we go. Justin, random question. But has there ever been an FSU away game where the team let you travel with them, no matter the sport? Yes, that has happened for me. I went with baseball a couple times.
I went with the basketball team when they went to Boise. Tony Douglas's senior year.
Yeah.
I got on that flight, much to the chagrin of Kelly Elliott at the time, who did not know that was happening. But who knows where she is now? She didn't do great by this university. But either way, she was mad about it when she found out. But it was a direct flight, and I didn't like flying. So I asked the people in charge of Florida State, we'll pay, and we did, but can I get on that flight with the band and the team? And I did. I got to fly direct from Tallahassee to Boise, watch them lose in the first round in overtime to Wisconsin. Heartbreaker. then got back on the flight the next day and went.
So
You've probably done it.
And back in the day when when we were at the Osceola was, we did a publication report to Seminole Boosters. So we were kind of like a little closely aligned, a little less separation between other publications and the athletics department. So Dave Hart a few times let us be on the team playing for football, which I'm telling you guys, plenty of boosters that are listening to this, if you've been a long-time booster, they know because you can get on the team flight sometimes. I don't know if they can as much anymore now that the staff is 3,000 people.
Yeah.
But back in the time when there was only like 8 or 9 assistants and a couple managers, you could get on the team plane, and that was pretty awesome. But basketball, I've gone with basketball a couple times. The best time with basketball, credit to Leonard Hamilton, thank you so much, and Vanessa Fuchs, former FSU at COVID, when they shut down the ACC tournament.
They let you get on the plane back?
I was very concerned. I was going to find a rental car because, they were shutting all the flights down. But they let Leonard and Vanessa let me go on the team charter back, which was awesome.
It always seems like something they should
And you
do.
got the whole team sick, right?
Yeah.
Leonard was very concerned. But no, that was huge. And then the other thing that we can share, he doesn't listen to us anymore. And he probably regrets the day. But Mike Martin Jr. had driven Jeff and I a couple times to some things.
Oh, really? I never got one of those.
Yeah. Good times. Not
happening again.
No, probably never. I would say this too. Dave Hart was the man back in the day.
Yeah.
Dave knew what he was doing because Dave, they'll be like, "Oh, sure, come on." Like, what do you say? What are you gonna do? It's Dave Hart. You're like, "Okay, I'm going." So Dave knew the deal. He was buttering you up, but
that's fine. It works.
And by the way, it was a great question. Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV continues in a moment. Hey, let me tell you about my friends at Tried and True Consulting, a Seminole-owned business that specializes in payments and business solutions. Tried and True's core expertise includes card, ACH, point of sale, mobile, e-commerce, and hosted payment solutions. Tried and True will help you reduce costs and increase your bottom line. That always sounds nice. Whether you're a retailer, restaurant, licensed professional, or service industry, Tried and True is saving you money. Tried and True's expertise extends to payroll, video menu ad boards, IT services, web design, and social media. It's time to make one call and tell the competition to take it on down the road. Call Don or Joe today at 844-464-6653. That's 844-464-6653. When you do business with Tried and True, they contribute 10% of the net revenue to the battle's end. So go Tried and True today. Call 844-464-6653.
There's nothing like relaxing in a hot tub after a long day. But if you don't have one, you're truly missing out. Hot tubs and spas have tremendous health benefits, besides just helping you relax. Like improving your sleep, they help with pain relief. They help to better your cardiovascular health, and so much more. And this season is the perfect season to finally buy what you've been wishing for. Pinch a Penny Pool, Patio, and Spas has the hot tubs you need for the price you want. Come shop our huge 12,000 square foot showroom and save today. There's over 50 hot tubs in stock right now, so you won't have to wait weeks on end for that delivery to finally come to town. If you're ready to relax, we're here to show you how. Pinch a Penny Pool, Patios, and Spas. Come visit our huge showroom at 2473 Greer Road with over 50 hot tubs to choose from. You'll be glad you did.
The best happy hour in the city is at Café de Martín and El Bar. All day, every day, you can find great deals at Café de Martín while enjoying the best outdoor seating Tallahassee has to offer. Sip away on 2-for-1 house wines, chilcanos, and margaritas all day long, Monday through Thursday. Plus 2-for-1 pisco sours and margaritas on Fridays and Saturdays, and 2-for-1 mimosas for Sunday brunch. Come join us at Café de Martín, where every hour is happy hour, in the Esposito Shopping Center on Capitol Circle Northeast.
Hey, everybody, this is Shannon Young with Cross Country Mortgage. Been in the industry now for 22 years. I just made the move over to the nation's largest retail lender, Cross Country Mortgage, here to serve you in 7 states, including Florida, Georgia, Alabama, the Carolinas, Tennessee, and the state of Texas. Here to offer better service, better rates, and if you were thinking about buying or if you've been on the fence and been waiting to call me, now is the time. You can still find me at loansfornoles.com. That is, again, loansfornoles.com. I've helped thousands of fellow Noles get into their dream home, and I can't wait to help you get into yours. Give me a call today. I'm at 954-369-6171, or go to loansfornoles.com. Again, that's 954-369-6171, and that's loansfornoles.com.
Equal housing NMLS 373031.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
Which position coach on this staff would you want to play under the most? This is from Hunter. Not your favorite position to play, but coach to be coached by on the staff.
Good question.
And he goes on to say, go Noles and yay, Dr. Birch.
There you go.
Job,
Yay,
Hunter.
Birch.
Good job, Hunter. Oh, who would you want to play for? Who's the segment group that?
I guess it's what are we trying to get out of it? Are we thinking they're going to help us get to the next level with our talents?
Or there be the chillest?
That's the other question. Yeah. Like, I think Tony Tokars will be fun to hang out with.
Seems like a really nice guy. I've talked to him every year he's been here. I've done an interview. I've enjoyed our conversations. Sure.
This isn't a fair answer, but I'd say Tony White.
Tony White seems like,
but he's not a position coach.
But I'm a huge Tony White guy.
But I think he looks like just a really reasonable, down to earth, but intense person.
Very smart,
very intellectual. You can explain things to you in a
linebacker. Expects you to be tough.
Yeah. I think that'd be my answer. Yeah, but he's not a position coach, so that's hard to say.
He could probably coach the linebackers.
Okay, all right. But I'm just saying for the purposes of that question.
Yeah.
I like Yak, but man, he makes those guys jog into practice every day.
All that jogging. Can't we just chill the hell out? Good God.
Everybody else is walking.
What are we doing? Why are we jogging?
We're going to run out there.
Yeah, we're going to be doing lots of running.
I don't know why this made me think of that, but the fact that Cooper Flagg had to be wheeled to the locker room for an ankle injury that he could have probably played the next day, and then going back to DJ Lagway being on a stretcher and the whole team surrounding him. 2 weeks later, he's lighting up Florida State. Like, what's going on with these young kids today?
From Paul Pierce.
But that was 20 years ago.
Yeah, they learned. They were kids. They saw
You would have thought it would have manifested itself quicker than this. But two really high-profile athletes that looked as if their seasons were over.
Was it Anthony Davis that Shaq and Kenny Smith were buckled over, making fun of, laughing in the studio?
Because he falls down on every play.
And then he got wheeled out, and they were I mean, they could not keep it together. They were making so much fun of him.
How about when another reference to the COVID season?
Yeah.
When that season got shut down, and Corey wrote his what do you call it? I guess fantasy Florida State's run to the national championship.
Oh yeah, the national championship.
He wrote stories off of every game story through the rest of the tournament.
Yeah.
And everyone, MJ Walker would leave with some crazy injury.
But they come back and hit 3 threes.
I got yelled at because I made fun of that.
It was unbelievable.
Every time he fell to the ground, I'd be like, "Stop getting worried. He's fine. He's fine. He's not even hurt right now.
Yeah.
Get up. I
Get
would
back on defense.
You're fine." Yeah. Oh, it drove me nuts. And because we also little kids do that when your kids started playing Little League.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they're little kids.
Yeah. They're
eventually you work it out.
Yes.
You're like, "Hey man, what are we doing? We get up here. We don't stay on the ground." So anyhow, we answered that question with a non-position coach, Tony White. Yeah. If you could go back in time and eat some registers and have some Tavello with a famous person, who would it be? So we're eating registers and drinking Tavello.
That's a good play.
These are random.
So this does not involve really an answer regarding like a historical figure that you'd want to pick their brain about anything. You're eating register sausage and drinking beer.
Well, but you can still do that with a historical figure.
What do you think I'm doing at Tavello?
Yeah, no, but I'm saying like
solving the world's problems.
If you're eating sausage and guzzling beer, it's not the time to talk to Da Vinci. You're gonna talk to somebody different in that scenario.
All right, so then I don't know, Babe Ruth. I don't know. Do you think
one.
Babe Ruth would have anything interesting to say? Like, was he a good conversationalist?
He'd tell you about all the prostitutes he banged on the way into the interview.
Yeah.
He wasn't in the iPhone era.
Yeah. No.
We would have had some.
That'd be tough for him to live that life these days.
Yeah, no, it would be a partier. It'd be somebody you're like, oh, we're going to have a good time here. We got beer and we got some sausage to eat. This is going to be good.
Jack Ruby.
So you want to get to the straight dope.
I want to know why he killed Oswald.
Yeah.
Why he really killed Oswald. And I think you would be more willing to share that over registers and a beer.
How disappointed you'd be when he's like, I'm a patriot.
I'm a patriot. I was really mad. I felt bad for the
real
lady.
thing.
Yeah.
So, what do you think anybody ever like met John Lennon and was like, come on, man. What are we doing with you? Can we?
What are we doing?
Oh, you think I would think a million people said that? 100%. I think everybody in his band did.
Certainly Paul did. But I would also think that like maybe you get 2 Tavellos in. How many Tavellos are you in before you ask the question?
Or those Tasmanian trails.
So you get like the third or fourth one. You're like,
One
hey,
of the
John,
6.9.
John, no offense.
The screaming. Yoko and the screaming.
We're going to start with the no offense.
No offense.
No offense.
And look, all due respect.
Yeah, with all due respect.
Due respect.
I have another sip of that Tavello. I need to ask a question. And it's just you and me talking here.
Yeah.
That's all. Like, you can give me the straight dope. It's cool.
Yeah.
But Yoko.
What is
You're
the story?
Honestly, sir.
That's why I'm not people close to him. Yes, I'm sure there were a lot of conversations, but like a random stranger on the.
You think people in New York, when he's signing autographs up until the last one, weren't saying, "Dude, what are you doing with Yoko?" They asked that for 10 years.
You don't think Mark David Chapman wanted to know that?
He got an autograph.
Gone too soon. Too soon.
45 years ago, Ira.
Oh man. R.A. Noel writes, gentlemen, FSU's weakness seems to be quirky off-speed pitchers. So, how many strikeouts would each of you get against them? Would you use the pitcher's screen against Max? Yes.
Oh, of course.
Oh, my God.
I wouldn't pitch to him.
No, I wouldn't either. And by the way, you know this, but pitching to lefties is nonsense anyhow.
If you had to,
you're going to get hit.
It's scary.
Sucks. Yeah, it sucks.
If you had to pitch to him, what do you think? Where are you going? Where are you going? High and away?
Well, first of all, I'm going to hit him in the neck because of all the.
I'm not going to have him stare me down after he hits one 450 feet.
And just, here we go. Let's get it on. Let's go.
Well, I would hit him in the neck and take off towards center field.
I feel like high and away, he's not hitting it right back at you. And if it goes out,
that's the one he would hit right back at.
No, high and inside. You don't want to go away.
Yeah, high. Yeah, that's the one he would.
He would turn it.
He'd go the other way.
No,
he would
go the other way. He
not against 68. He's going to punish it right up the middle. Really hard.
All right, so we're trying to jam him. We're brushing him off the plate.
We're getting him inside. Right. We're getting him inside. I'm not throwing him anything away because he's going to turn.
So y'all saw the home run he hit the Saturday night one against Miami, and then
the catcher. It's great.
That catcher needs to get over yourself, man. You let Max be Max.
The announcers were trying to figure out what set that off.
I wonder. Oh, is it that he stared it down for 40 minutes and said some things?
Imagine. And they haven't seen a film of the other 9 that he's just like that. Yeah. Tony asked the same question from a week ago. Tony, I'm going to bet you didn't hear the question, so I will re-ask it.
Hear the answer. We answer this?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
Well, I think we did. I referenced the fact that you called it a 10-game season because of the 2 automatic wins. And he said, so is 7-5 or worse a fireable offense given that it's a 10-game season?
So to go 5-5, I mean,
look, not about what you think they will do. Do you think it's fireable?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, I do think it's a fireable offense. I don't
too.
think that means that you even that you should or could. But I'm saying it's nobody would bat an eye if you go 5-5 with this schedule and all the resources that you've had at in this conference to keep losing to these slappies. Absolutely would be a fireable offense.
Correct. That's the correct answer. Ira, do you agree?
Idea more in reality. And I don't think
that's what I do too, buddy.
7-5.
I do too. I'm just saying that if they go 5-5,
well, you let him change your answer to his criteria. I'm saying I don't. A fireable offense to me means you're going to get fired. And I don't think that's on them. They're 7-5. I don't think he's getting fired.
It would make it a possibility, though, is what it wouldn't be outlandish.
Hey,
that's the point. It wouldn't be outlandish.
2-10 was a fireable offense.
100%.
Yeah,
it's a fireable
even
offense.
with that money that's owed.
Yeah,
I'm just saying it wouldn't be outlandish to though if you followed up with 7-5 against that schedule to be like, nope, this isn't working. We've got to find something.
Well, I will. You'll hear me on the air. I'll talk about it.
Yeah, you're not going to get a chance to because they're going 10-2.
I hope you're right.
I don't even know who they lose to. They got the comparable rosters to all these guys. They're gonna be 10-2 at least.
All right, Jerry says, "Good afternoon, gentlemen."
Jerry,
but he's white.
He's a white Jerry.
He's a white Jerry, like most of them. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Is the FSU realignment buzz going around based on anything solid, or is it mainly off-season speculation? Thanks, and go Noles.
When you say is it based on anything solid, like nobody knows anything like definitively, but there are people who are
rumblings.
There's some people that have connections to certain people who have expressed that there's a possibility of maybe getting out earlier than 2030.
Rattling the cages?
It's possible, yeah. I don't know, but so it's hard to say. Like, we're not going to have any information that yes, the Big Ten has said yes, we'll take you, and we're going to make this financial deal, and it's going to happen. Nobody's going to share that with us, but there are rumblings that it seems like it could be quicker than 2030.
I just root for that stare down to be happening between Fox and ESPN, and somebody going, all right, well, you know what? We need to act sooner rather than later. I know that they're going to be upset with us, but we're doing it. Just like, let's get in here before this happens, before they plant a flag. Tom says, will the 2027 game versus Georgia be a conference game or a Big Ten SEC challenge?
Eventually, or at that time?
By 2027.
Yeah, at that time, I don't know.
I still think it's an ACC SEC challenge, and I hope it's an ACC SEC challenge that's canceled.
You still hold out hope for the game 5 months
It's only 5 months.
5 months.
They got time.
5 months. You want that one to go on?
Prairie View probably can play. It has a free date.
They need a game?
Yeah. So I would – what if you're still in the ACC, there's genuinely, literally no reason to play Georgia.
You must have been a peach in the dugout when you guys were playing like Brookwood or Parkview or whoever in baseball.
Beat Parkview one year, by the way.
I just imagine
beat Brookwood.
Did you see it coming? Were you?
I was very surprised. No, I wasn't. I didn't play. I didn't play, but my teammates beat Parkview, and I was very surprised.
He was begging the coach. Why? What are we doing?
We're getting in a gut. We're getting in a bus right now.
We're going to Lilburn to play Parkview.
Driving.
You know who's on that team? You know who's on our team? There's no chance. No, I look at it. That is my viewpoint. Typically, is I'm more of a negative. Again, it goes back to Atlanta sports fandom. But even if you beat Georgia, it doesn't matter. And if you lose to Georgia, it does matter. Like there's no thing to gain from playing these games. Georgia doesn't lose.
It don't matter.
Sure, right, man. But it doesn't matter to them. They'll still be in the playoff.
Maybe.
Well,
the risk versus reward is so heavily tilted towards one and not the other, and you're not making money from it. That's why you're not making any money from it. So what is the point? What is the point? Prestige.
Play the game, baby.
Nonsense. And I love Athens. Athens a great town. It'd be cool to be there, but there's no point playing it. Don't
you play to win the game.
Don't acquiesce to the SEC. They don't deserve you until they're willing to make you a full member.
Corey, I navigated my way around your beloved Atlanta this past weekend. Went to a Tyler the Creator show and went to 6 Feet Under across the street from the cemetery. Have you been there? It's fantastic.
I didn't know any of those words.
The Oakland Cemetery there. That's massive.
Do they still have the underground?
Not really much of a thing.
I think
anymore.
you could die there.
I was a kid. It was a thing.
Yeah,
it was a thing back in the day. Yeah. No, you've not gone to 6 Feet Under?
No.
What is wrong? What happened to you?
I've been to Six Flags. I don't really live in Atlanta. I live like 45 minutes from Atlanta.
6 Feet Under on Jimmy Carter Boulevard.
Yeah, that's right.
The Alabama. Brad says the Alabama baseball coach has to write an apology letter to an umpire. Does this happen often in college sports?
I've never heard of that happening.
I've never heard of that happening either.
Who made them? The Sankey?
I guess the Alabama.
Or the AD?
AD.
I mean, it was crazy. He got run for a perfectly legitimate call, and I think he was just mad about how the game was going. Although they beat Tennessee one of those games, but yeah, it's better than what happened for the last Alabama coach.
He's not the most embarrassing Alabama.
No, not even close.
No, my man. Still love that guy with a duffel bag trying to.
And he's also saying, "You don't understand." The Alabama baseball coaches told me to make this bet.
Right here, what are you doing?
That's
sir?
so
They
stupid.
got to make a movie out of that.
How has Netflix not done it?
Oh, it'd be so easy. Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV continues in a moment.
Your local news now.
A man was arrested Thursday after being accused of spray painting the Florida Capitol last month, as well as Tallahassee Police Department vehicles. Justin White was located by FDLE agents in the Atlantic Beach Police Department Thursday evening. Authorities said he was wanted for spray painting and vandalizing the Florida Capitol complex and several TPD vehicles. White was initially identified by FDLE Capitol Police after he vandalized several buildings last month. 3 people were arrested on Friday, March 21st, and are now facing charges after detectives detectives found drugs and guns inside a home. After several months of a thorough investigation, detectives obtained probable cause for a residential search warrant that was executed last Friday. Lawrence Andrews and Emmanuel Smith were both arrested, and a third person, Jeremiah Gilley, was found to have active warrants for his arrest. This is Rachel Anay with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Frombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Clear skies this afternoon with a high of 80. West winds around 5 miles per hour. Clear skies again tonight. Lows dip down to about 56. High of 84 tomorrow. Ample sunshine expected. Mainly sunny skies Thursday with a high of 82. 81 Friday. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Currently, it's 76 degrees.
Looking for a new SUV? Kraft Nissan has 6 models of SUVs with prices starting at $21,900. A reviewer noted that the newly designed Murano Platinum trim is very close in class to much higher priced luxury SUVs. See it for yourself at Kraft Nissan in Tallahassee.
All right, about that time to upgrade my iPad and my Apple Gear. How much memory do I need? What upgrade should I get? What size screen? How many chargers do I need? USB-C, USB-D, mini USB, USB-B, ABC, 1, 2, 3?
If only there was a local business that can guide you and help you understand what you need and get you the best pricing possible. Oh, wait, that's what they do at Mac and More Systems. Get help buying the right gear for the right price and have it shipped directly to their store for pickup, all at no extra cost. That's the kind of service you won't get at any big box store. Shop local at Mac and More Systems. Find out more online at macandmoresystems.com.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and
Corey Clark.
Thank you. Thank you. That was a quick cut. A little too quick.
Got multiple texts over here, Jeff.
What's going on?
Cal Raleigh just is apparently signing a 6-year, $105 million deal. Pretty cool.
He's been good, man.
They love him there.
Really good. They do love him. And I actually,
what do they call him? Humper? What's his nickname?
What?
They call
Something,
him
it was the dumper.
dumper. Yeah, the big dumper because of his booty.
Sizable.
Yeah. God bless him. He's had a nice major league career, man.
Very awesome. Nice. He's ascending. Actually, he's getting better and better. I watch a lot of Seattle. I go to bed to him.
Nice.
Throw it on in the background. Yeah. But I don't know if I'm going to do it as much this year because their announcer is now the Yankees announcer. They sent him over. I love that guy. And now
Dave Sims.
I'm not going to be watching the freaking Yankees.
Good choice.
Yeah, it's annoying. By the way, Ira, I bet now you tell me what you think, buddy. And just so you know, what do we do? Everybody.
What's that for?
Producer that was the show beforehand is an Orioles fan. There you go. No, but I know you're a little concerned. It's been a dreadful spring.
I wouldn't say it's been a dreadful spring.
You've lost everybody and probably going to have a tough go of it.
No, I mean,
good
2-year run.
April's going to be a little sketchy.
Yeah.
But no, still fired.
Over under, my question to you, I've looked at all the advanced numbers, Ira. I bet on these things. I bet on every single team in the league's over under before the start of the year. 87.5.
Do you bet the over and the under? That way you can't lose.
No, I don't do that.
That's what Corey does.
I
just like to see the green show up on my app.
Yeah.
87.5.
Where we going, baby?
I can't separate my heart and my mind, so I'm going to go over. And
do under, man, and then you'll be pleasantly surprised when you win.
I live. I don't live like you.
You're in a tough division, though.
Well, you're in a tough division.
Don't
buddy.
care.
I have you guys winning the division.
Oh, all right, Jeff. Well,
so
that means a lot.
What are you doing at 88.5?
Bumping that up. I would actually tease it down to below 80.
Orioles are tricky because the offense is going to be great, but yeah, the pitching we're a couple things could hit,
Hey, is this MLB headlines or is it Seminole headlines?
I'm just checking on the Braves. You're going to be there Thursday. We're all going to be at the corner pocket for opening day.
Of course,
4
got
o'clock.
to.
I
mean,
I'll be there for it's a 4 p.m. start, so I'll watch an inning or two of the Braves, and then I'll go for football.
The day that ends in Y.
You don't have to go into football. You're just going to listen to a coach tell you something that's probably a lie. What do you care? Go to the baseball game, buddy.
We got 5 months to sell to listeners / subscribers.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't understand why you keep
that special we've got going at warchant.com where we sell
Holy cow.
news about the Florida State football team, Jeff Cameron.
Oh, man. No, we don't get news, but we'll have to get it our damn selves.
Yeah,
What the coach is telling you isn't going to mean anything. Trailer Swift writes, Gents, if the Big Ten and Fox want FSU so bad, why can't they renegotiate their deal before 2030 to increase the size of the pie before adding another slice? Anyway, this realignment talk makes me mad. Big Quidditch guy here, and I want the Noles to stay in the ACC. Best broom sports there are.
Quidditch guy.
They should have.
That's
Quidditch.
fair. Yeah, that is an ACC sport that I was just thinking about that column I wrote. And I do that a lot. I think about columns I wrote in the past, just kind of reminisce.
Sure.
But the one about
the
was West Durham really mad about? He wasn't mad.
I had to go to coffee with him.
So I wrote the column about
coffee with him.
the Durham and Packer show they used to have in the morning, which was the ACC flagship show on the ACC network.
It sucked. All they did was talk about
They talked about lacrosse. Well, they talked about other things, but all the interviews were lacrosse and tennis and soccer.
I remember the piece, and I championed it.
Yeah.
I thought it was the right.
But what's crazy
we have
is
been talking
he's the
about
one
it.
that told me to write it. This is always the case with the columns that get me in trouble.
Mad at you?
No, he didn't get mad at me. He got mad at Corey, but I know him, so he was going to be in town. So he's like, "Hey, let's have breakfast." Let's have coffee.
I even said,
100%.
and I even said, like, I love West Durham because he's the voice of the Falcons, and he's really good. He's good. He's a really good broadcaster. Really, really good. It was just like I thought he wasn't being used well because the ACC network had them interviewing. It was the week of the NFL draft. All they did was talk to lacrosse players.
And they put out their social media. We had been talking about it because it was ridiculous how they were handling things.
The network
and then they put out their like list of guests for the week. And then that was like, okay, here we go. Now let's go spot on.
It was just a few years ago. I remember it like it was yesterday.
And meanwhile, Feinbaum had on Nick Saban, Kirby Smart, Jalen Hurts.
As one would.
And Packer and Durham had on the women's lacrosse coach at North Carolina, the men's tennis coach.
What was
his? I think his main point was basically that.
Yeah, exactly.
He didn't.
He had a point. He was just like, I think he was trying to make sure we knew that wasn't like his choice.
No, Wes.
Yeah. So Wes was like,
management.
Listen, I agree with you, but
no, Wes is a huge lacrosse guy. Always has been.
Okay. What's your favorite show or podcast that you completed either together or independently and walked away thinking that was a fantastic recording?
That's podcast?
Yeah, for
us.
that we've been a part of either together or separate or whatever. We've done some of these shows where we've walked out of the studio laughing.
High-fiving each other.
High-fiving a little.
High-fiving, but we've actually made each other laugh hard and walked away and said, that's going to go over well.
It's easy to say. I think maybe where we served our greatest purpose, I think, personally, looking back on it 11 years, 10 years later, was the Jameis stuff and being a rational, reasonable, understanding voice for Florida State fans who are getting besieged on all sides because we're sort of adults, at least you two are. I kind of act like an adult, but we were adult enough to understand there was nuance. It wasn't just one side or the other, but call out the national media.
Well, it was delicate.
But to call out the national media on just some righteous indignation BS that still bothers me when I think about it. It still bothers me when I think about it. But anyway, that's why I'm not thinking about it.
And just for people that weren't paying attention at the time or whatever.
Which go back and listen to them. Are they on Spotify, Jeff? Can you get back to those 13 shows?
I have no idea.
It was never about like what happened in that case. It was about just the coverage and the leaps that everybody made from here to there, and then how other things were then sensationalized.
And Heather Cox wasn't doing her job after a championship game unless she asked Jameis why he didn't testify in some. It was just
that kind of stuff.
Yes,
and we took crap from that. I mean, I was written about in a couple of because of something I wrote in a column where I just said, "Listen, can we just slow down here?"
I was a guest on a show in Seattle, and what's his face, who I respect, who does
Dave Sims,
the color analyst for football. That's a former quarterback.
Brock Heward.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was enraged with me. He was upset. I have a daughter. I'm like, what the hell does that have to do with anything? He didn't want to hear that. And we went, it was a little dicey. Nate writes, if you're listed in the lineup behind Max Williams, do you hope that he doesn't hit a home run, or do you wear extra protection in case he does?
It doesn't. It hasn't. I don't think it's negatively. Look, I went on a rabbit hole again. I watched the Florida State win over UConn in game 2. Cam Smith drew a walk in that game where he looked straight at the pitcher, threw the bat down, and called him the P word as he threw his bat down.
Yes.
Did Miami throw over somebody's head the other day, like after one of them? I think they did.
Maybe. I don't think intentionally.
But like I just think it's more commonplace in baseball now.
Oh, in college baseball, it's absurd.
But so they're used to it because they do it too. But I wouldn't worry about it because it hasn't hurt anyone's. Like Cam Smith was able to do that stuff last year.
The repercussions of hitting somebody intentionally and to have been deemed to have done so is serious in college baseball.
Yeah.
In pro baseball, it's like you miss your next start.
You miss a start. Yeah.
But not in college baseball, it's a big to do. Right. So a lot of these guys do not throw at guys. I wish they would, because it's absurd.
What about if you because you get when Max Williams hits a 450-foot home run, he stands in the box until it's over the fence. And then the umpire's throwing the ball back to you. You're on the mound watching him walk around talking. Again. Why don't you just throw at him then? Not again. You instead of throwing at the cleanup hitter that did nothing to you, when he's between second and third, just leg it up and peg him.
I like when the umps they already know.
As soon as he hits one,
they're like, come on, let's get it moving here. Yeah, they know right off the bat. Nathaniel writes, Jeff, when Max pimped the last register sausage-sized dong served up in Miami's face this weekend, that's good, to the point where the catcher took offense and gave him a little shove towards first base. Tell me I wasn't alone in thinking, for just this once, I'm okay with it.
About him acting like, yeah, sure.
He goes on to say that he likes Coach Cameron Translates and went on to say Corey and Ira's extrapolations from the few code-spoken nuggets we get from camp are great as well. God knows you guys have plenty of time to do all of it. We do.
Thank you.
We do. Thank you very much. Yay, register sausage from Lawrence. Good afternoon, gentlemen. I'm kind of looking forward to the Luke Laux era. I'll be more likely to renew my season ticket for next year. Hope he can scrape up some cash for some quality players. What are your thoughts? And being that I'm out of the country a bunch, I follow mostly on YouTube. How do I get the bonus hour? It's up there most of the time, and the pod is also on there. But I think Tom puts the bonus hour up after it runs here at the radio station. So you should be able to find it there on the feed as well. As far as our expectations,
Luke and raising money, and I mean, he's definitely working on that. And I think, again, man, their roster, the numbers you're hearing, some of these schools are spending $8 to $10 million on their roster.
That was for Louisville,
basketball.
right? That's what NACO said for Louisville.
And there's talk that
there's $8 to $10 million
for basketball, but
for like 6 players.
It's insane.
I think Florida State. I think Luke's goal. I think they're trying to be somewhere half of that, a little bit less than half.
I brought this up. Did we ever post the Luke video, the 55-minute
edited version?
Yeah. So when he was talking about he's gotten commitments from players. This was like Friday. He met with all of us, or
Averaging
Thursday.
3 points a game.
Well, no, just he's gotten commitments from current players, but it's never official. You got to go back. There's negotiation. He talked about the portal too. Chuck Walsh, who was standing there, it was really funny because it's like, yeah, man, I'm there with you, Chuck. Like Chuck's been in this game. He was covering Gary Williams back in the day. And then to hear Chuck Walsh is the FSU SID who's been here forever. Like for him to have that reaction, that anybody that has been in this sport long enough would have that kind of reaction to seeing a head coach talking like that. But Luke is pragmatic and talking reality. It's just crazy to.
Also from a team that couldn't sniff the NCAA tournament. Like,
yes, right.
Who
are you to demand?
Or the guys that were here 5 years ago. Like whatever they're getting is fine, but anybody on that team is holding you up for hostage.
Like, come on, man.
Well, you just don't have to pay.
Right. Well, I think that's happening.
That's happening. That's right. By the way, funny note on that. Chuck calls me to tell me that Luke's having this presser. I'm like, it's at 3. I'm on the air. There's nothing I can do about it. But hold on. But this is funny. I say, I'll record it earlier if you'd like. And then I also said, I just texted Luke and asked him a question about fundraising. And Chuck's like, what? I'm like, I know about the money. I know how much he's got now. And I know he's like, you do? He's very, very, it's distraught.
Well,
like, what's going on?
It's an odd place to be for somebody that's been in this business as long as he has and we have.
At what point next season will we know Mike is or is not the guy? This gets asked quite a bit. This guy thinks he's going to wait until the NC State game. This is from Richard on November 21st.
I think the Stanford game. Isn't it at Virginia, at Stanford? Is that how it works? Like you got Alabama, you got the 2 freebies, then you got at Virginia.
That's on a Friday night.
And then I think the next road trip is at Stanford. If you've lost either one of those games, Corey might be out. Corey out. Seacrest out. Corey out, and I'll come on. That'll be the hour number 2. Corey out.
I'm done, guys.
Yep,
I'm all done.
You can't explain away losing at Virginia and at Stanford. You just can't do it. This league sucks.
Well, and the problem is, and this gets back to the heart of the matter, there's no grace anymore. Like what last year did.
Yeah.
Like if you just went,
that was enough grace for a lifetime.
You know what I'm saying? If you just went 7,
it's gone.
if you just went 7-5 last year.
Yes.
Or, just whatever last year, anything other than 2-10. So now, because listen, man, teams lose all the time. Teams lose to teams they should not lose to.
Half the teams lose every Saturday.
But, he's lost all that.
Yeah. The goodwill that came with a 19-game winning streak has never plummeted faster. Gene Chizik had a longer grace period.
I said that on the air when they were in the midst of it. I was like, man, I've never, and I meant this, just a pragmatic, sort of straightforward conversation, not meant to be salacious. I was like, I have never seen a guy trash that much goodwill that rapidly in my life.
Yeah.
I mean, at least in terms of work performance. Like, you've seen people say something where you're like, oh, man, really? Oh, that's great. You're a racist? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Something bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah. But because of work-related triumphs, you've garnered all of this goodwill, and because of work failures in the span of less than a year, it was all gone. I'm still left incredulous. So you're right. There is no wiggle room.
What about Drake and Kendrick Lamar? Is that comparable?
What?
Like Drake became like a punchline.
Yeah,
he was the biggest star in the world, and Kendrick did it to him though.
Yeah.
Like Drake didn't really do it to himself. I guess he picked the fight.
I mean, I think there were things that were trending that way.
Yeah. But he seems like, I don't know, is he coming out? Could he sell out an arena now? I guess he could. I don't know.
There's some people that are Team Drake.
Very few, but he can still sell it. Robert writes, just a quick question. If Mike is not the answer and is fired, will Alfred be the guy to hire the next football coach, or would it be a new AD as well? Ooh, good question.
I think Alford did so much with getting this 15 mil extra, or 15 to 20 mil extra. I think he would. I don't think that's a failure.
I'll tell you, prior to that, it was he wasn't trending in the right
but that's a huge one. That you number one, you didn't win the lawsuit necessarily, but you won it more than the ACC did. You came out ahead. So all that bluster was for good reason. You won ish. I don't know that just Mike Norvell not working out is enough to say he needs to go too. I don't think so.
It would part of it's just what happens, how's it play out, and then what is the fallout of that? Because listen, the reality is this administration, and this isn't just Michael Alford, it's people above him as well, signed off on not just keeping Mike Norvell or giving him that extension, but also signed off on this renovation, football facility. They're so leveraged right now financially for all of that, which, I mean, I know why they did it, and I believe they probably had to do it, but they're very leveraged. And if this team stinks, and then the fallout from that economically in terms of ticket sales, everything else, now it's a lot of people's blanks in the jackpot, because because it's not just about hiring him or extending him. It's about, the reality of what they'd be facing at that point, which would be a calamity.
We can say asses, right?
You can, yeah.
Okay. You said blanks. It makes you think of something worse than asses.
No. You guys think, okay, try to answer this within 1 minute. Ready? Noah, I'm concerned with the repercussions of the House case and long-term talent of our roster. If a multi-year deals are approved and players are bound until they are NFL eligible, won't the portal just dry up? Where will that leave our roster if we can't supplement it via the portal annually?
Well, you recruit better and you pay those guys
more.
more.
Get a lot better at recruiting. It would be nice.
And you pay to retain good players as opposed to having to go pay to get other people's players.
Yeah, and theoretically, you'll be on more of a level playing field. We'll see how that all plays out in terms of what you can spend to buy players, to get players. The other part of it is, it's not like they'll be locked in they can't go anywhere. You can get players under the role. Like, you will be able to get players to move, but it may cost you money.
You have to buy them out, right?
Basically have to pay a buyout for players.
Kayvon made
if
me
that
laugh.
all works.
Kayvon made me laugh in the chat. We need to renovate this win-loss record.
Yeah, that's a big renovation. Also, if Trey Jones can finally go win a national championship,
let's go, Trey.
Alford's sitting pretty. He gets a soccer. Yeah.
Got to the second round of women's basketball in a half.
They won a game.
1.5.
They won a game. Yeah, more than the men's have done. Men have done the last 5 years. The men's.
The men's.
How about Luke Clanton? What a Nole.
A diehard Nole.
It's still amazing.
I love it. Good kid. And a cool story anyhow.
And the women's golf team's loaded too.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Two of the best players.
Holy cow.
It
needs to be a double up national championship.
We should start a college golf show on Sirius.
It was a fun one while it lasted. But it's a little too niche. A little too niche, I found out, unfortunately. After 7 years, a little too niche.
Good listen, though.
It was fun. Good work out of you boys. Say goodbye.
Peace.
See you next time.
All right. Until next time. Peace.